What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Heart of the City with NYG Jeffy T 85. Unpopular Opinion Sports, and me, the coach, Coach Ed Gladney. And before we get into it, as always, let's check on the co-host. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing very well, Coach. How are you doing? How are you doing, NYG 22? A lot of things to talk about today.
hmm So it's
Yes,
definitely,
yes, yes.
yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting topics. But let's start with the New York Jets.
Yes.
Um, but before we do that, real quick to the chat. What's up, Nisi? Peace and blessings to you. Thanks for tuning in.
How you doing,
Um,
AC?
and
Peace
we'll
and love.
wait for everyone else to pop in and say what's up. But let's start with the Jets. The interesting because right now New York football is definitely starting to be a hotbed, and um, the Jets with possibly reeling in the big fish. We know that their management has flown out to see Aaron Rodgers. So um, right now they lost out on. Well, I don't want to say lost out, but Derek Carr signed with the Saints, so he's one quarterback off of their wish list or however they categorize it. So right now it's basically Aaron Rodgers or bust for a lot of Jets fans. I mean, how do you feel about that? What do you think about that, Jeff?
I mean, honestly, if I had to think about the whole situation with the Jets, I think the Jets right now, they know that they have a team that is ready to win. About with the young talent they have around that roster on rookie deals. What they want to do is they want to see if they could capitalize with this young talent, and in order to do that, they want to go out there and get themselves a proven quarterback because we all know that the quarterback position is the reason why that team was held back in 2022. And they pretty much have singled out Aaron Rodgers as their target. Without saying it, they pretty they pretty much have said, Aaron Rodgers, you're our guy. We're going to try to do everything we can to bring you in. And if we can get you on here through a trade, maybe not to give up way too much, even though we all agree that they're probably going to have to give up the farm in order to bring Aaron Rodgers in here,
Mhm,
that
mhm,
we're going to pretty much say you're going to be the guy that's going to put us over the top for the 2023 season. And you could be the guy that could lead us to a potential AFC championship game or even a Super Bowl. Because I don't think it's that outlandish to say that if the Jets bring in an Aaron Rodgers, they could be a potential Super Bowl team. So do I think the Jets are doing the right thing? Yes, because they really need a quarterback that can really put them in the position where they could be talked about with the Kansas Cities and the Chargers and the Buffaloes and the Cincinnati's, Baltimore's. You know, these high level teams in the Western Conference, in the AFC conference. And I think it just makes too much sense for them to do that. I think Carr was just a fallback option, as well as some of these other guys if they can't land a guy like Aaron Rodgers. So I think they're doing the right thing, and we'll have to wait and see if they're able to reel in that big fish from Green Bay.
Yo, what's good, Koof, man? I see you
Hey,
out
Coop,
there,
man.
bro. What's good, man? What's good, Wells? I see you, bro. Um, gonna touch on the Rogers thing for just a second. And I think with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, this is a real risky thing. Um, and I mean only that because you never know how committed Aaron Rodgers is gonna be
mhm,
for the Jets. He might just be going there to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And because Green Bay doesn't want him no more. They're ready to move on. They know they can't win. They're probably not
What's
better
up,
than
Wes?
the Lions right now. They're
Mm-hmm.
probably not better than even the Vikings right now. And the Bears are coming. So I mean, what are you gonna do if you're Aaron Rodgers? Even with that team that they got, I still don't think they're that good. So yeah, you going to the Jets, you taking a shot in the dark, and if you're the Jets, you're gonna have to trade draft picks,
Hmm.
and you're gonna have to pay this man. And
Mm.
if we thinking some of these other quarterbacks is getting paid, wait till Rodgers' deal comes out because they're gonna have to redo the deal. You know, they're gonna have to pay him. He's gonna get paid. So
Absolutely.
um so yeah, I don't know if I like that. I think the Jets should have I think they should have made a little bit more effort to get Derek Carr for what he
Hmm.
signed for.
Hmm.
Um I think that would have been a better move for them, but they didn't seem to want to do that. So, but what's your
I
thoughts, Coach?
actually I agree with you guys. It's baffling to me. I mean, I get Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback, all this and that. I get it, and yes, you have to, you know, go sniff and see what you can get. See if you can get a bite of the apple tree. But in terms of prioritizing, I mean, you had Derek Carr basically there, but personally, me, I said it before. My focus would have been on Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
If I'm gonna go big, I'm gonna try and see what's up with Baltimore. I mean, it's obvious Baltimore's already they already tagged him, and they're letting him go out and see what he can get. If I'm the
Hmm.
Jets, that would have been my option. But okay, going this route, I understand it. But I believe, and a lot of people think that it's a foregone conclusion because I also think that's what factored into Derek Carr just saying, "Well, screw it, he's probably going there, so go ahead and sign it." But like you guys said, I mean, NYG just said, his reliability, his commitment, is he going to be there? I mean, how long are you going to get him for? You're going to have to
Hmm.
give up a lot to get him, and he may only be there a year, 2 years, and you're going to give up possibly two first round draft picks plus players, and you're going to have to cut other players to fit him under the cap. So, it's a big gamble. Um, but I mean, I understand who he is and what he can bring to the table. He definitely would be far vastly improved in comparison to the other quarterbacks who were there. So I do understand it. I just don't I don't think it was a good deal, a good look to put all your eggs into this basket right now. But they feel that if they get them, they're going to win a champion or be a championship contender. So, and in the AFC, what do we always say? There's a whole lot of quarterbacks. You got to have the quarterback to compete, and the Jets do have some young talent, but at what cost?
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I think they're just taking a major risk. They think that this guy is the one to put them over the top and
Hmm.
put them up there with those other teams. So I get it. It is a very risky proposition because of what it's going to do to your cap and because of the I can't like enigmatic ways of Aaron Rodgers. Like he could one day just be fine, and the next day he's just doesn't want to play anymore, or he's going to be an issue with the media. Plus, that's another thing. Aaron Rodgers has been dealing with the Green Bay media his entire career. You think he's going to be able to handle the New York media and the way they are? It's going to be a whole different monster. So I get why the Jets are trying to do this move, but at the same time, buyers beware should also be on the table too.
No, I agree with you. So, um, what do you put it at in terms of percentage that you think that Rodgers is going to end up a Jet?
If I had to be honest, I'd probably say I just have a good feeling it's going to happen. I'd probably say around a 60% chance he's going to be a Jet. I just think that there's no other team that's really been negotiating with Aaron Rodgers in terms of a trade. It's pretty much been the Jets or bust, and it just feels like that this is going to result in one of three things: either retirement, staying with the Packers or being traded to the Jets. And it seems like retirement's off the table. And it just seems like you mentioned, Coach and NYG, it's like they're done with them. Packers are done with Aaron Rodgers at this
Mhm.
point. They want to see what they have in Jordan Love for at least the season, if this kid could potentially be it. So I think it's really Jets or bust. That's what it really feels like. Unless another team comes out of nowhere and inquires about Aaron Rodgers, it really just feels like that it's going to be the New York Jets is ultimately going to be the final destination for them. And Salah and Joe Douglas are going to be taking their home run swing, hoping that Rodgers is finally going to put them over the top.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually put it at about maybe 80%.
Mm,
And but I will say I'm gonna watch because there is a dark horse, and it is the Raiders. And
yeah,
if the Raiders come
yeah.
into the equation, I will drop it. But I mean, I might even go 50%. But other than that, yeah, I'm with you. I think the Jets are the ones that are probably going to, lock him in. And, right now is their opportunity.
Yeah.
What's up, Vance? Um,
Taylor Vance.
what's cool for that? I agree. Rodgers is probably going to the Jets for maybe 2 years in order to hopefully coach up Zach Wilson.
I don't see the
Um,
last part happening. I don't see Rodgers
yeah.
coaching up Zach Wilson. He think he's just there to win.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do it with Jordan Love, so he
Mm,
doesn't. To me, he doesn't show me he's that type of a player. I mean, now if Wilson is just going to sit back and watch, that's a different story. And
yeah.
but if he's going to, I can't see him picking his brain and him going through, everything. I mean, maybe Rodgers will be cordial and
Mm,
respectful and do, but to go out to really coach him up. I mean, having coached myself and seen players coach up other players um, that's the way I've seen it. I can't see Rodgers doing that, but being respectful and just going through simple things and saying, if you see the safety here, blah 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 blah, things of that nature. Yeah, Vance. I mean, that sounds good. Meatloaf and scalloped potatoes. All right, you always
bro.
coming with the real, bro. We appreciate that. So.
Damn.
But getting back to Rodgers, like I said, the dark horse for me is the Raiders. But I'm
Mm,
with you, Jeff. I really can't see anyone else. So, and if Rodgers decides to retire or go back to Green Bay, just for argument's sake,
mm.
where do the Jets go then?
I mean, if they can't land Rodgers, I would not be shocked because of the fact that Lamar Jackson got the non-exclusive franchise tag. That they would pivot immediately to Lamar Jackson. I think that's when they're going to go to Jackson, and
Mhm.
I think they would be willing to give up a couple of first-round picks in order to acquire Lamar Jackson. So I think if they can't land Rodgers, because they know the Tannehills, the Garoppolos, these guys aren't going to get it done, and with Carr now off the market with him in New Orleans. I think they would immediately pivot right to Lamar Jackson and see if they could potentially strike a deal with him.
I think with the with this situation right here with the Jets, I agree with Coach. Just go get Lamar Jackson. I mean, look, Lamar Jackson wants a lot of money,
Yeah.
and you know, we talk about money a lot for some reason with these athletes, but the bottom line is he's an excellent quarterback. And
Mm-hmm.
if you think you're one quarterback away from contending for a Super Bowl, that quarterback has to be Lamar Jackson. Look, Aaron Rodgers, for one thing, I don't think he's going to be good with the New York media.
Yeah.
Um, and for another thing, he's old. He's an older
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. Maybe you get a year or two out of him, like a Tom Brady situation, but that's going to be it. He's going to retire, and guess what? You're going to be mediocre and you're not going to be in position to go get a quarterback. You're going to have to give up a bunch of assets and you're going to lose a lot of your players at that point because you're probably going to be up against the cap. They're up against the cap this year, I think, right?
They're under 200,000 already. But think
They
of
had to make a
don't
lot of moves, right?
Yeah, but when you think about it, look at the Saints. The Saints were already over the cap too, and they just signed
Mhm.
Derek Carr. yes, they're going to
That's
have to
true.
cut players and they're going to have to, make arrangements. You're going to have to rework contracts. It'll get done. The bottom line is, right now, Rodgers is going to cost you 50 plus. That's just for 1 year. So, and then,
Yeah.
when he retires, you're still going to have money on the books for his contract. My understanding is if he was to retire after 2 years, it's still another $50 million on the books. So
Mm-hmm.
now, will the salary caps increase over the time period? Yes, yes. We don't know what it'll increase to. So but still, $50 million is a lot of money. Even if you could afford it, that's still a lot of money for any business to have to sit there in a sense eat. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to me. Koofman said, "I only say that because Wilson and Rogers have an often have an off the field relationship already. I was just hoping some residual positives could come out of this." Okay, well, if they have a relationship, I wasn't aware of that. So
If that's so,
if
then
they,
then that would be a benefit. Then yeah.
yeah, I mean, that could benefit them in the
Oh yeah,
long
I
run.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Mm,
so then it makes sense in that regard because Wilson does have talent. He has arm talent. He's
yeah.
just not mature enough, especially in New York. So I mean that's interesting. But yeah, like we just alluded to, Lamar to me, especially if he's on, because right now it's only going to cost you two first round draft picks. And Woody Johnson has said for Aaron Rodgers, he was willing to give up two first round draft picks. Well, guess what? You're going to give up two first round draft picks, no other assets. The money will probably be close. You can probably get Lamar for a little bit under 50. So,
Mm,
you're going to save a couple of mil there that you can allocate and use for the team elsewhere. And of course, how you structure the contract, you could open up, certain things at certain
I
times.
think
So
I think Lamar wants 50.
even if he wants 50, then okay. I mean, Rodgers is at 50 now, and I think next year is what, 52.
I
So,
think
I
he
mean,
wants to be the guy, like the number one, like as far
okay.
as getting paid. I
I
think
I
that's
yeah.
thought
why
it,
the
I,
Ravens
I
wanna
thought it was,
wanna
I thought
move
it was
on.
about the guarantee. So, but okay, if it's that, man, I mean, you can structure it where you can get out contracts are made nowadays where you can get out of it after 2-3 years nowadays, even if it's a 4 or 5 year contract. So, you
Yeah.
know, teams are starting to realize, we can get out of the contract, depending, especially if you give most of the guarantee up front, and don't forget you got your void years after the fact. So, you can still spread it out, even though you're going to have to eat it, but you can spread it out a little bit. So there are ways around that still. And if you're going to get the thing about Lamar is, like you said, NYG earlier, Rodgers is old. Lamar is young and he could relate to these young players and he could also grow with them as well as be their leader because Lamar is what, 25 right now, 26, if I'm not
He's
mistaken.
like,
25.
yeah,
Yeah,
25, 26.
so these other guys are in their early 20s, so they're perfect together as opposed to a 38, 39, 40-year-old quarterback. So there is that difference there. So for me, I mean, I get it, it's already started, you already started the process, fly out, see if you can close the deal. But if you can't, if I'm flying back, I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling Baltimore, or I'm calling Rogers, I mean not Rogers,
Lamar.
Jackson. Yeah, I'm
Mm,
calling Jackson and seeing if he's interested and take it from there because I think Atlanta said no to him now. So,
yeah.
you know, so there you go. I mean, yeah, I understand they might not want to pay the money, if it is the guaranteed money, whatever it is, you know, you know, you still make that call to Lamar before, what all hell falls out. Because if you can't get Rodgers, the Jets fans are gonna go crazy. But if you come back with Lamar Jackson, trust me, I think most of those guys would settle down and you're not going to give up certain assets that you can keep and use because you're still going to have a young player there. So, that's my thoughts on the Jets and their quarterback situation. You guys have
Um,
anything else to add?
I'm just gonna do a quick scoreboard update on the NBA games tonight. The New York Knicks are leading the Charlotte Hornets 74 to 59 right now, with about 8:54 to go in the third. and the Brooklyn Nets are leading the Houston Rockets right now by the score of 49-43 with 4:34 left in the second quarter. So both teams winning. That's a good thing for the local teams in the NBA. In terms of the
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers situation and Lamar Jackson, I would be honestly at this point very shocked if the Jets don't land Rodgers, especially with the fact that Koopman just threw in the chat a little earlier saying that
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers and Wilson have a relationship with one another. So, plus the fact that his offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, is with the Jets right now, too. It just makes the stars are aligning so much right now for a Rodgers New York Jets, alliance. So, at this point, unless the Jets are not willing to give the compensation that the Packers are looking for, I would be very surprised if Aaron Rodgers is not a Jet by at least either the end of this week or right around the beginning of free agency a week from tomorrow.
Um, Here's what I think. Um, I think this whole thing started with Derek Carr,
Mm-hmm.
weirdly enough. And now you're starting to see the quarterback dominoes start to fall, kind of. And so when you're talking about the quarterback dominoes start to fall, the Derek Carr contract, that was what, 37.5, I think,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
So then Gino got paid what, 35 a year?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the big news today. So now Lamar Jackson is looking at this situation like, I mean, his camp, I'm not saying this, but his camp is saying, I'm better than all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm better than half the quarterbacks above them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. The Jets, if they really want to go all in, that's the guy to go all in for.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's saying he's worth the money. So, but this is what we're gonna have to do now. We're gonna have to deal with a situation that is very toxic to say the least, because it when you when this is what I don't understand about a lot of things. When you're a fan of a team, I mean, it's okay to be mad at players and say he sucks and yada yada yada. He's a bum. When you're losing, generally
Mm-hmm.
that's when you talk like that. When you're winning football games and in the playoffs, most fans that I've known, you know, in all my years of life, they generally lean to the optimistic side of things with their team overall.
Mm-hmm.
This day and age, there's a different breed of fans that a lot of older Giants fans, like myself, are having a hard time dealing with. So, and that's just the real. So let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
You see the topic, Coach Jeffy. Y'all kick it off. What y'all think about what just happened today with the Giants, starting with Daniel Jones?
Coach,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this first.
Hmm. As far as the money, I said it before. I don't care. I really don't. If he
Mhm.
got his money, he got his money. Whether it was 40 million, whether it was 100 million, you know, directly to me, it does not. It's not like fans are paying for it. Is it an indirect phase? Yes, if you go to the games, things are like that. But there's more that goes into it: TV contracts, all that other stuff, sponsorships. But as a fan, it's not affecting me. It's just like any other business. You pay your employees, we pay you for, whatever. That's it. How you allocate the money as a business is how you allocate the money. I really don't care because players are going to get paid. I don't have a problem with players going after their money. Never have. It's in the locker room. That's the one thing everyone does not do. They don't go into other people's pockets. If you get your money, you get your money. Respect, I'm happy for you. I'm gonna go get mine when my opportunity comes up.
Hmm.
Daniel Jones got it, and I get it. I understand. Oh, it's the salary cap. It takes away from that and getting good players and all of that. But first of all, in today's game, what's the most important position? The quarterback. And to have a quarterback play, I mean, to have a quarterback, you're going to have to pay. And the market keeps changing. People talk about, oh, I don't want to hear about the market. Um, if the market is growing, the money that you paying Daniel Jones now is going to be insignificant down the road. I
Hmm.
mean, we're already talking about quarterbacks 50, $60 million within the next couple of years. So if that's the case, then Daniel Jones, the money he's making is going to be in the middle to the low end of the spectrum because the top end is going to be growing. Yes, he's getting paid quote unquote like the top players, right, quarterbacks right now per se. 40 million. So he's in what the top 10 in terms of dollars, but it's
Hmm.
going to change. Oh, he only had one good year, but he only had 15 touchdowns, passing touchdown, whatever. When you went out there, did you see this man perform? Was he leading this team? Was he making that critical errors, making mistakes at the critical times? No, but he was out there performing. He was giving his all to be out there. You can take him out and you can talk about, oh, draft one of these rookie quarterbacks, and guess what you're doing? You're setting your franchise back. So if that's the case, then you might as well gut your roster and get rid of everyone. Right now, we have a quarterback. However you feel about him, we have a quarterback, and this is going into his second year. And to be honest with you, I do not believe that Dable and Kafka have put in their whole offense. I really don't. And they're still going to cater it and build it around Daniel Jones, and they're going to expand it. And when he gets other weapons, because I've heard it, oh, well, we didn't throw it, he didn't throw downfield, whatever, whether they didn't allow him or whatever. Some will argue, oh, Daniel Jones, they didn't allow him because he can't. Well, what's on the flip side? They didn't allow him because the receivers couldn't get downfield and he's going to have to sit and wait. And then next thing you know, he's taking undue sacks, which could possibly, when he was a rookie, what was the biggest thing? Fumbling. Why? Because he was waiting for receivers and he wasn't protecting the ball. Come on, it's a give and take. Right now, we have a quarterback who's coming into the second year in this system, and he's going to grow. That's the reality. Now you bring in, Saquon, comfortability, same type of running back. If you draft certain receivers to come in, maybe sign a veteran receiver, whatever, trade for another receiver, whatever the case may be, however Shane figures it out, then you change the whole dynamic. Then we get to see what Daniel Jones is. Oh, by the way, you can get out of this contract after 2 years. So and that's all reports that I've heard. You can get out after 2 years, and all you're going to end up having to have paid is $82 million of that contract. And the first year is said to be a base of $19 million. So that's telling me Shane is on his game. He's smart. Daniel Jones signing his money. So what? You have to play in the big leagues. You got to pay. Period. For me, as the last part of this says, was it the right move? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Because the only other move to me that makes rational sense is then you have to strip it down and start over. And if, as a fan base, we want to do that, and we're going to sit back and wait, bring a rookie quarterback in, and please don't tell me, oh, you can still compete with another quarterback, a rookie quarterback, just give him some pieces. Well, if you can give Daniel Jones some pieces, a veteran quarterback, because rookie quarterbacks make major mistakes. They always do. Go back to the Steelers when Ben Roethlisberger came in. He had a veteran team. That first year, he made mistakes that prohibited them from really going as far as they needed to. Second year, you saw the difference. So rookie quarterbacks are going to make those mistakes. But honestly, if you're going to go that route, you're really pushing the franchise back. You really are. And if you want to get one of these quarterbacks, you're going to have to give up to move up to get one. So, no, this was the right move for me. Go ahead, Jeff.
I mean, I've been on the fan. I've been neutral with this whole entire thing. You can't call me a Daniel Jones lover. You can't call me a Daniel Jones hater. I've been on the fence, and I've said from the beginning, whatever happens, I trust Joe Schoen. That has been my mantra since the beginning of the season. That has been my mantra during the season, and that is continuing to be my mantra after the season. I'm putting my faith in this general manager because of what I've seen so far, that he's going to do what is best for this football team in the present and for the future in terms of keeping this team at a sustained, successful mark. Not only was this a good deal, but think about the other benefits that this deal has done. You also were able to tag your franchise running back. Think about that too. You're able to bring back Saquon Barkley as well. It could be a package deal, however you want to spill it. But I'm going to give a round of applause.
You've been
to Joe
saying that,
Schoen.
Jeffy. You've been saying it was going to be a package deal. Pat yourself on the back, because that's exactly what it is.
No, what I'm gonna say is I'm proud. I am so damn happy that we have a competent general manager that knows what the hell he's doing, because I'm giving all the credit right now to Joe Schoen for not calling whatever bluff Daniel Jones's agents were throwing out there in terms of his contract demands. He stood firm with his offer and be like, he thought that Jones was worth about 40 mil. He didn't change. He didn't waver. He didn't get cold feet when it came around the tag deadline. He's like, we're giving you about 40 million, and that's our offer. You take it or you leave it. It looks like that the other side came down on their asking price. Whatever report you want to go by is fine. But I'm giving so much credit for Joe Schoen and the job that he did to negotiate this deal. But like you just said, Coach, you can get out of this deal after 2 years. That's the beauty of it. Daniel Jones can realistically be here for 2 years, and also you can still open the door for drafting a quarterback in 2024 if you don't believe Jones is the long-term answer. So that doesn't mean just because Daniel Jones signed this deal that it does not take them out of the equation of drafting a future quarterback. And I say the same thing about Saquon Barkley when it comes to the running back position, because right now Barkley is only here for 1 year. That's it. So I think it is well-deserved. 40 mil per year. Would I have personally given that to Jones? No, I would have probably given him around 38, like 37 the most, but it's not my money. I'm not the one that's being affected by this. And I have 100% faith in this general manager. And now what this does is, like you just said, Coach, 19 mil per season for 2023. What does that do now? It opens up cap space where you can sign some of your other free agents out there. You can negotiate with Julian Love. You can negotiate with Darius Slayton, Richie James, Sterling Shepard, O'Shane Zimenez if you want to bring him back as a vet, Joe Hyde Ward, whoever it is. It opens the door for you to have more cap space to negotiate with these guys, as well as negotiate a long-term deal with Dexter Lawrence. And you can go out into free agency and you can get yourself a prime linebacker, because it sounds like that they're going to be interested in signing a vet linebacker in free agency. That's the position they're going to target. So what this does is it opens up the avenue to do a lot more moves during this upcoming off season and free agency that starts next Wednesday. So I'm going to give my full 100% applause to Joe Shane for not buckling under the pressure, for standing firm, and I'm going to give my credit to Daniel Jones and his agents for realizing the best thing for Jones right now in his career is to not go to another, not be selfish or whatever he's asking for. Sign a deal that is a good deal for him. He can put himself back out there after 2 years, or the Giants can move on if they don't think he's the answer. And Jones can try to elevate his play where he can find a way to make that full $160 million deal in the rest of his contract until 2027. So, to close it out, awesome job by Joe Shane. God, am I so happy this guy's my general manager, as I am with Brian Daboll as my head coach. Shout out to Brandon Brown, too. I can't forget about him as well and the job that he's done, too. Good job by Daniel Jones. Let's see what you can do in 2023 now. Now, unfortunately, the pressure is going to be on you because you signed that deal. No matter what anybody thinks, there's going to be a little more pressure on Jones because he has a big contract now that he just signed. But I think Jones is going to be ready for the challenge, and I'm really curious to see if Jones can elevate his play and become the guy. And I'll talk about Barkley a little later. But NYG, what do you got to say?
Well, I appreciate you guys. You already know, man. Y'all my bros, y'all my brothers, man. For real, man. We do this show every week, man, and I can't say enough about you guys and what you do and what you bring, not only to the Giants community but the sports community in general.
You
But
too, man.
Mm-hmm.
the thing I am, like I say, I'm the fan. That's who I am. I'm the fan, and I just see fandom a little different. And when you're talking the way you talk, sometimes people don't understand that this is the best thing for the team. It's
Yes, it
not
is.
about Daniel Jones. It's not about Saquon Barkley. It's not about Joe Shane or Brian Dable or John Mara. It's the entire team, including the fans. So when the ownership and the coaching and everybody is telling you this is the right move for the team, and yeah, they're gonna have some like snags with the money because the NFL is a business, even though people think the cap is something that you could just, you know, like it's a bank account or credit card or something. It doesn't work like that. This is the best thing long term for the New York Giants. And that's just what it is. Now, I'm gonna share something real quick that I found on Twitter, and I'm gonna share it on Twitter because I want whoever this is to get credit for it because um this isn't necessarily my quote, but if I could have thought it, I would have said it. So let me see if I can share. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. I see Amanda.
Okay. Yeah, so it says, it's incredible. Daniel Jones cap hit for the first year is about 19 million. Uber cap friendly and flexible. Add Barkley's tag to
Mm-hmm.
the mix. Both combined is less than what the franchise tag would have
Mm-hmm.
been for Daniel Jones. Joe
Mm-hmm.
Shane is that guy. So that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to understand this is was the best thing for the team. And if Joe Shane would have put the franchise tag on Daniel Jones, he would have not been able to sign Saquon Barkley or improve this team.
Yeah.
And if he let Daniel Jones walk, then he has to spend draft capital to go get Anthony Richardson or CJ Stroud because the Bears are going to want a fortune for that number one pick because they believe in their quarterback. So that's what I'm saying, man. You know, this conversation and these things have been a bit of a battle as of late, and not just on Twitter or on social media, in the streets as well. But it's a different conversation when you talk to people outside of YouTube or Twitter because a lot of other fan bases think that Daniel Jones is worth the money and they would take him over the quarterbacks that they have. So that's why you got to understand this thing right here with the Giants, it's deeper than just the players. That's to me, that's an NBA thing. That's a adopted thing from the NBA that is merged over to the NFL now, where people celebrate the players now more than the team, or they hate the players more than the team. In some cases, I think a lot of people like Stephen A. Smith and even Skip Bayless have stared that narrative as well with their hate for certain players. So I think it falls in the media and it falls on the fans as well. But the fans get it from the media, in my opinion. So that's why to wrap this thing up, look, now I'm gonna share one more thing and then we can we could segue this thing because
Got
look,
a
the
couple of
deal is
quotes
done.
too. Yeah.
The it's done. It's
Oh
over with.
shit!
So people can cry all they want
Oh
to.
shit!
So, but look, let me share one more thing here,
Key Sweat, the new
because
edition. Yeah, guy. Oh
this is
fuck.
this is from somebody we know, and I think it's a
Fuck,
good quote. Oh, can I find
fuck
it?
me.
There it is. All right. What you over there doing, coach?
I
I
was
see
No,
some.
just wondering that
no.
too.
The net
What is
they were
going
showing a
on?
commercial. No, they were showing a commercial. New edition guy, Keith Sweat, Tank. It
Oh,
was just
okay.
one more. They're going to be at the Prudential Center on the 19th. I'm like, fuck, I can't go.
Yeah, yeah. They come in there my way too, but those
It's,
tickets are crazy.
yeah, I
But
know.
How much
I
are
would
Could
have
they?
I
loved to
could
seen
I
them
could
too.
I know a shorty who would have got them for me if I
Mm,
just be her date.
okay, okay, all right,
I
coach.
just, but
Okay,
nah, I'm
coach.
not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Coach, crazy man. All right, check it out, man. Let's
Vance, we
talk
love you
about
too.
this.
Love and appreciate you too, bro. Thanks for the
Y'all see
Oh,
support, man.
this?
my boy,
Yeah.
Big Dash. All
Big
right.
Dash knows, man. And see, this is
Mhm.
why I did this, because this is a guy that like Jeff says, stays more on the neutral side of things, man. A good
Yep.
friend
Mhm.
um of,
Mhm.
all of us, all three of us, you know what I'm saying, as well as the Big Blue crew, man. This is a good dude right here, good content creator. Please go subscribe to him, go follow him on Twitter. This is his Twitter handle. I'm sure he wouldn't mind me sharing his tweet, so because this is good shit right here. I understand that the divide is real right now. How do we build this team? It needs to be ugly, trenches, linebackers. All those moves talked about are still possibilities. Let's make it happen. So,
Yep. Yep. Not
trenches,
wrong.
Mhm.
linebackers.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And
Suck on
this
Mets,
is
no
what
Jet.
this is what real fans
No
talk about.
mess.
How
I
to
love
build the
common
team.
sense fans.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
I
saying?
love common sense fans like Dash.
What's up, Mets? What's up, Mets? No jet,
What
no
up,
nets,
bro?
no jets. What's good
Well,
with
even
you, man?
Joe Shane said it in his comment during the Jones signing. He's like, "We are all pleased that we're able to come to an agreement prior to today's deadline, and this gives us a greater ability to continue to build our roster." There you
Hmm.
go, right there. Couldn't
Yeah,
have made it any more
totally
clear
agree,
on
man.
that one. And you can negotiate with some of the other guys that you might want to bring back. So now it makes it more possible if you want to bring back a Julian Love or a Darius Slayton or whoever it is. Now you have the cap flexibility where you can make it happen. So there you go. It's a win for everybody.
Yeah, it's a win for Saquon Barkley too. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
so
God,
let's
I'm so
talk
happy to
about
have him back.
talk about Barkley, man, for a minute. Y'all go ahead, man. Go ahead, coach.
The Barkley move is not just strictly like everybody's talking about the tag. He's playing on the tag. Oh, they offered him 2 point whatever previously, and he turned it down. And now he has to play for 10 mil. So it's a loss of you know whatever 2.5 or 2.4, whatever. But people fail to realize the tag also allows you to work longer to work out a contract. So they have until I believe July 15th to still work out and negotiate a contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that does initially. Um, Now, yes, he turned down the money the earlier, but now this lets him see he can go out or teams can contact him, and guess what? If they want to sign him, we get 2 first round draft picks. So right now the Giants are in a good position. They can still negotiate or extend this contract. So the value could still go up. He could still go up to 12.5 or even 13 or whatever the case may be. But it just allows them, it gives them that flexibility to work on the contract. So and if it doesn't work, guess what? He's going to get $10 million guaranteed, and then okay, fine. He may walk. He's not going to want to do it, but he's going to walk. Per reports, he doesn't want to play under the tag, but if he does, then after that he's going to walk. Okay, you know Saquon is electric. He's dynamic. I don't want to see the kid go. I want to see him end his career with the New York Football Giants. Whether that's another 3, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever. But if it's only one more year, I mean, it's a great. He's been great for this organization, a great ambassador, not just on the field but off the field. So, um, all in all, this franchise tag is not as bad as everyone thinks. It allowed the team to sign DJ and then transition over to to Saquon's, basically secure him for the team or secure some type of assets if he does end up leaving. And that's a win-win for this team because in the end, while I love Saquon and I'll root for him on any other team except against the Giants, I'm a Giants fan. And that's what it's about with me. I'm a Giants fan, and I'm always root for the Giants and players, whoever they are. I'll root for them while they're here, and if they're going somewhere else, I'll wish you the best of luck, but just not against us. Period. Case closed. Go ahead, Jeff. You got it, bro.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just Saquon Barkley that got a tag at the running back position. It's a common trend in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Pollard got tagged, and so did Josh Jacobs. So
Mm-hmm.
teams obviously know that the running back position, no matter what you think about it, is just not valued enough where teams are willing to go out there and give these running backs the type of long-term money that they're looking for because of the fact that you could go into the NFL draft and you can get yourself a quality running back, not even in the first round, but in the mid rounds that could come in and be able to do the job for your team. So I'm very happy Saquon's back. He's my second favorite player on the team behind Shep, but Barkley is the heart and soul of this football team. He is the guy that a lot of players go to fire him up, to get him ready, pump him up. He's the guy that, in my opinion, would have been very difficult to let go, not just because of his talents on the field, but because of his importance off the field. I mean, he's the true leader on this team. You could say Daniel Jones is. To me, it's Saquon Barkley. When you think about the ultimate leader on this football team, I think it's Barkley, and it's been Barkley. So, am I shocked he's playing on the tag? No. Do I think a long-term extension will happen? I'm leaning more towards no. I just don't think that the two sides are going to be able to come to a long-term agreement. I think Shane is going to look into the draft this year to potentially draft a running back somewhere in the middle rounds to bring him in and either spell Barkley a little bit during the season or eventually be the replacement for Barkley if they in fact let him walk after this 2023 season. It's just the name of the game. And pretty much this is all they tagged him because they're going to say, all right, Saquon, you had a terrific year. You did a good job. You played every single game. We're going to tag you and we're going to tell you, go out there and do it again. Play 16, 17 games a season. Put up the type of numbers that you're put up this past season. And then we'll think about maybe giving you that extension that you're looking for. But you have to make sure you do it and prove it to us a second time, which I have no problem with. But overall, just having Saquon back on the roster is fine. I don't see any team crazy enough to even the team that's desperate enough for a running back willing to offer 2 first-round picks for Barkley. So it's pretty much a guarantee Barkley's going to be here on 2023. I just don't see a team doing that. But either way, it's good for the team. It's good continuity to have Barkley back here in 2023. And let's see what Barkley can do in the second year in this offense. I mean, I think because they're going to try to improve the interior offensive line, and they're obviously going to get some wide receivers, or they could just bring back some of the guys that are free agents. I think their plan is to open up this offense, spread it out, more 11 personnel, more quick moves over the middle, more crossing routes. I think this is going to be a more wide open offense with Dayball and with Kafka. So I'm expecting Barkley's talents to be fully utilized in 2023, even more than so than it was in 2022. But it's just a good move. I mean, just organizational wise, for the locker room, on the type of money you pay him. I mean, $10.1 million is like chump change for a guy as talented as Saquon Barkley. I know Barkley's probably not happy about it. I know he's probably wanted to get that long-term deal. Maybe he still gets it from now until July 17th. But either way, let's see what Barkley can do in his second year with under the new system. So glad that it's done. Love having Barkley back, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do in this offense in 2023. And YG, let him know.
Yo, Barkley, man. Saquon Barkley coming back is probably the best news of the day because, I mean, it's sometimes we look at these players and we only look at it from, with the stats they put up and the numbers and this and that, but we don't understand that these guys are human and they have a certain impact on the team and in the locker room. And not only that, but you have a great player. Yeah, he doesn't play a premium position, yada, yada, yada. But what he does is he adds premium ability from a leadership standpoint. And you need leaders on this team. And I'm going to tell you another underrated thing about Saquon Barkley is his ability to close football games. Because last year, he was our closer. He was our Mariano Rivera. Like he was getting it done in the third and the fourth quarter. And that's what you want from the running back standpoint. I think Saquon Barkley was overused a little bit last year, which is why, and he was hurt a little bit. And he may be a guy that may be banged up a little bit when you're using him like that. So I think the Giants are probably gonna look to upgrade the line and the receivers, obviously, to give Saquon more of a break and so he can be more rested. And then you can go out and get another running back too. And coach will get into this later on, with the draft and stuff. There's some backs in the draft that that
Hmm.
can be had, and that can be what can give Saquon Barkley the rest he needs so he can be our closer down the straight stretch so we can finish games, and then if you get a wide receiver because Saquon has never really played with a top notch wide receiver outside of 1 year with Odell Beckham Jr. You
Yep.
know, with so that being said, though, they haven't really had that other weapon, that dynamic weapon to take pressure off of some of these other guys. So look, man, you get him on the tag, he'll sign a long term deal. I'm hearing it'll probably be 13.5. And it'll be like a 3 year deal. And you're just gonna have to bank on him and Daniel Jones being able to get it done when you add weapons around them. And that's what people don't understand. These guys have been performing with no help like that. I mean, they've had some people, but it's mostly been the coaching that got it done. So if you can add players around Saquon Barkley, then it's gonna help him. It's gonna help Daniel Jones. It's gonna help the line. Like it helps everybody. Football is a team sport, and people want to make it about this player or that player, and it's just silly. It's just silly. I'm glad to have Saquon Barkley back. I know they're gonna get a deal done. Um, you know, I have my little sources now that I've been. This is gonna get done, and it's probably that's probably what it's gonna be, a 3 year deal. Um, I don't. Obviously, they had to tag Saquon Barkley because they their deal was further apart than the Daniel Jones deal.
Hmm.
So that was the whole thing. And again, you said it, Jeffrey, a package deal. So they had to get that out the way so they can bring Saquon Barkley back because him and Daniel Jones make each other better. And all you need to do is just build around them. Two talented players. They're both 25. Well, I think Saquon is 26. If you have them for what, 4 years, 3 years, so you say you have both of them for 3 years, that's your window to win a Super Bowl. So yeah, they got to get it done. But would you rather do that or roll the dice on a rookie and let Saquon Barkley walk? I mean, because he wasn't coming back without Daniel Jones. We talked about this, and that's why I say you were spot on with this thing, Jeffy. It wasn't gonna be Daniel Jones and then let Saquon walk, or Saquon and then
Hmm.
let Daniel Jones walk. That was not gonna happen. That's why I've been saying it the whole time. They were coming back. Jeffy said that they were a package deal. You know, and I went out there on a limb and said that I pretty much guaranteed they were both going to be back in Giants uniforms. So I
Came
mean,
down to
look,
the wire.
it did, and I even tweeted that.
Yeah.
I put that out there, man. That it it was gonna. I put that out there 2 days ago that it was gonna come down to the wire. So um, look, man, it's back, man. But we can really talk about how we can build this team now. How can we build this team around these two guys, these two players, with our coaching staff, everybody coming
Hmm.
back. You know, they got the rumors out there,
I,
floating around about different players. But what do
I
y'all
got
think
one.
is the
I got one. I
next?
got one.
Go ahead, coach.
Um, and it rumored it was on Tanner when he did his stream today, and he said there's a rumor that Julian Love, the market for him is only about 4 or 5 mil, and
I think
if that's the price, that it would make sense to bring him back at that
I think
price.
they're bringing him
Not
back then. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
just not at
Slayton's
no.
market's not good either. Slayton's market's
Yeah,
very low.
what's up, Raph? He
Hey,
said the
Raf.
same exact thing, and that's the point.
It's
I
good,
mean,
Rafi.
they're going to test the market, but the market is not going to be out there for them. You can bring them back at an affordable price, so it's not going to kill you. You'll still have money. You still have, don't forget, you still have Leo's contract that they'll probably rework. They've talked
Mhm.
about Adoree Jackson. You can probably cut Darnay Holmes. That's $3 million right there. So there's guys on the back end that you can cut to open up salary. Oh, and I'm forgetting about Galladay. We still haven't even talked about his contract. So it's not like we're strapped, and like a lot of these other teams, on the back end who are either over the salary cap or close to it. I mean, and even if they are, look at the Saints. I said it earlier. The Saints just signed Derek Carr for what, 37 and a half,
Yeah.
35, or whatever it is. And they're over the salary cap. All they're going to do is work it out and make certain adjustments to fit them in. And yes, you're going to probably lose some players, or you're going to have to readjust some salaries, but it can be done. So, as a fan base, I always think this: we just need to chill and trust in Joe Shane.
Thank
And
you.
those who now, oh, it's a bad move, you're turning your back on Joe Shane. For me, you're just showing me that you have a narrative. You just want things the way you want it to go for whatever reason. Maybe you're a content creator and you can drum up business, or you just have your perception, whatever it is. It just doesn't make sense to me that after 1 year you're going to turn your back over the general manager. But hey, the players that I just talked about, their market, may not be as robust as we thought, and we might be able to get one or two of them back to help us out.
And I will say this too. What was Joe Shane's first thing that he said at his press conference? Signing your own that you
Hmm.
drafted. Now, I know he didn't draft some of these guys, but let's just be real. Julian Love deserves to come back after the way he played for most of the season. Darius Slayton deserves to come back for the way he played this year. I would bring back Jahide Ward if you can afford him. And isn't it so nice? And the one thing that made me happy when I saw Daniel Jones get that contract and Barkley get tagged, I'm like, I can't believe it. The Giants actually did something that they have not done in a long time, and that's actually signed one of their own draft picks to
Hmm.
a second
Hmm.
contract. That right there is what I have been, and a lot of Giants fans have been
I love
screaming to the moon.
I love that,
Bring
Jeffy.
back
Yeah.
your own guys.
Hmm.
That's why I love it if Shep keeps coming back, or Slayton keeps coming back, or Love keeps
I don't
coming
know if
back.
I go that far,
I,
brother.
I, I want my guys that I know and I trust in this system. Because I know they're not, and I don't think these guys are going to get that big of a money as we thought either. Especially the safety market. There's a lot of good quality safeties out there. And Julian Love, I thought he was going to get outpriced. But yeah, I don't think Julian Love's going to get the type of contract we thought. So if we can bring him back, absolutely, I would bring Julian Love back. Same thing with Darius Slayton. I don't care. I want my guys here
It's
because
good,
I
Tommy.
trust them. I trust them in my system. That's it. And I think if you just bring back these guys that the coaching staff knows they can get more out of these guys, and you continue to build around what you know, it's only going to make your team better. And guess what? It strengthens your depth on the roster. And that's the biggest problem still with this football team is depth. I want depth on this roster that no matter what happens or what guy goes down with an injury, we know there's another guy that could just come right in and it won't be a drop off. So, yeah, if we can bring back a Darius Slayton, if we can bring back a Sterling Shepard or a Richard James or a Jahide Ward or a Julian Love, I don't give a damn if you don't think it's the right move because you know what it does? It strengthens the depth on this roster. And to me, that the way these prices these guys might get, that's good enough for me. And they know the system. So it's even a better bonus. And you can just supplement with the NFL draft and get your guys in here and develop them as you go with the veterans that you have on the team and the guys that you bring back if you can on deals. So I think that's what Shane is focusing on now. I think he's looking at Love, he's looking at Slayton, he's looking at Gates, he's looking at James or Jahad Ward or Shepard, and he's like, if these guys, I don't think are going to get that much money on the market. I like a good amount of these guys, and they're going to be good depth, and they're good locker room guys. I'm going to try to bring them back, strengthen the depth on my roster, and I'm going to supplement my guys as we go. So, in reality, it's a win-win.
I think you're right, Jeffy. I totally agree with that. And the reason why I agree with that is because now I wouldn't bring all the guys back because I don't think they're all going to be worth it. And I think some of them will get outpriced. Maybe we'll see. But if you could bring back some of those guys, and the way you put it, it hit me different. Pause. Because I'm thinking about it now and I'm like, damn, that does make sense. It does add depth to the roster. So basically, what you're going to be doing with some of your starters is you're trying to replace, you're replacing Richie James and Darius Slayton. If you could move them down and just have them as depth and not have them as your main guys, which is what we wanted. And you can do that at every position because now you have some penciled in starters. Remember, we didn't have any edge play. We didn't know who our left. I'm talking about a couple years ago. We were unsure about Andrew Thomas. You know, we didn't have Kayvon Thibodeau. Dexter Lawrence wasn't an all pro like he was. And so, these were our starters, but these guys developed and they turned into pretty good players. So now what you want to do is you want to add depth to the roster by adding low cost veterans. It's kind of like what the Eagles have been doing. They bring in these low cost veterans, and the stars of the show are actually their young guys and their draft picks. And that's why what you said there made a lot of sense. If you
Mhm.
bring back Richie James or Darius Slayton, you still drafting guys over them and signing guys over them. Same thing with a guy like Nick Gates or even John Feliciano. Still draft a guy. Make them the backups. You know, let your rookie come in, compete, and win that starting job. And you just bump this. It's okay to have these guys on the bench because if something does happen, guess what? You got what you said, Jeffy. You got depth on your roster now.
And NYG too. You know what it also does? Because of the fact that this team won last year, some of these guys are going to be willing to maybe take a little bit lower of a price to return because they see what's being built with the Giants right now, and maybe they would rather stay in a place that is just more comfortable with them because they know the system. And even if the money's a little bit different, maybe some of these guys be like, "Well, I know this team, I know these systems, I'm comfortable where I was. I'll take a little bit less to stick with this team because I see what's being built and I see that this team can be special and I can be one of those guys included on this team." We have all been complaining about depth with this team for years. That has been one of the biggest issues with this team. It's not just positional needs. It's the strength of the depth on the roster, including the trenches. We all complain about the defensive line and why we struggled so much to stop the run. It had a lot to do with linebacker play, but at the same time, Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams were getting worn down throughout the season because we lost the depth that we needed at that position. You bring back a Nick Williams. You got DJ Davidson there. You draft another defensive tackle. What are you doing? Supplementing more depth, and you still have the same guys you had last year that can play a lesser role. Offensive line, same thing. You bring back a Nick Gates. You might not love Shane Lemieux or Matt Peart or any of these guys, but guess what they are? Depth. They can sign into their roles. Same thing with Darnay Holmes. He could be a depth cornerback. Julian Love, depth safety. Jahad Ward, Depth outside linebacker. Richie James, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard. Depth wide receivers. See where I'm going with this? And then you bring in your young guys that take the main spots on the roster, and you can supplement these other guys as you go. And it's not a drop off. You're telling me if we had wide receivers right now, we get ourselves a stud wide receiver, and he gets hurt for like a game or two, for instance. You're telling me you wouldn't feel, okay, because you know what Slayton has done before. You know what Shepard has done before. You know what James has done before. You know what Hodgins has done before, or even the defensive line. Nick Williams, quality defensive lineman. DJ Davison, quality defensive lineman. The linebacker position, man, I would be so happy if we could have Micah McFadden as a depth inside linebacker. Not as a starter, but a depth guy. And he has a year in the system. Same thing at the running back position. Guess what? We still got Brightwell. He's still there. He'll be under contract. You can bring back Breida if you want. You can even draft another running back. But what you have, depth and the cornerback position on the outside. No matter what you think about Aaron Robinson, if you want to start him on the outside or have him come be a depth player, guess what he still is? Depth. And depth on a roster is so important for a team because you can have superstars. But as we all know, the NFL is a league where these guys drop like flies all the time. And if you can have guys that can come in when somebody is hurt for a week or two or however long, that can fill in the role and it not being that big of a drop-off, that's a win. And that's, I think, what Joe Shane is looking for the most this offseason is depth on his roster in the trenches, but all around the roster in general.
There's one other thing, you guys, that this would do is it enhances your culture
Yes.
and how your organization is run from top to bottom. So anyone else who comes in will fit right into your culture, or they learn how you go about your business and how you
Mm-hmm.
do things, how you practice, how you be a professional.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why these moves are so important. Everything you guys talked about is so on point. So
Let's
And
let's
it
shout
brings in
out some.
security too, coach, too. Don't forget about
mhm,
that. It's going to tell other players they're going to be free agents, be like, well, they went out of their way to bring back Jones and Barkley, who
mhm.
are important to this organization. I have a feeling they'll do the same thing with me. I'm sorry. Go ahead with MRG.
Nah, I'm just gonna shout out the chat real quick. So we got Tommy for one, Tommy in here. Koof man, of course, no Mets. Um, and they got some good comments. I'm gonna go back up to uh Tom. I'm gonna start right here with Tommy. He says, much love to the panel, all Giants fans. Maximus Jones will hoist the trophy, screaming out, "Are y'all not entertained?" After loading up this offseason, he will ball out with the O line, D line, and more help at wide receiver. Yeah, Tommy, man.
Just win me a championship. That's all I care about. You don't got to say nothing, DJ. Just win a championship.
No Met says, let's make sure we get our homegrown DT signed. Yeah, man. I
Thank
think
you.
Dex is gonna be next up on the docket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why these deals are even more important because now you can work on deals with Dex. Even Andrew Thomas and Xavier McKinney's contract negotiations can at least be talked about. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anything's gonna get done with those two guys right now, but Dex is definitely, you mentioned Julian Love. Um, and then you're looking at some of the more of the, like you said, Jeffy,
You
the
got
depth
to be
pieces, which would
fucking
be
kidding
Richie
me.
James and Darius Slayton. Tommy says
Fucking
Slayton
kidding me. Are y'all serious?
Oh, the
got to be
Knicks are losing. The
something
Knicks are
with the
losing.
Knicks.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
losing right
I
now.
was gonna say, yeah, it was 100. Um,
They're down by 5 points with 58 seconds left.
uh-oh,
No Bronson.
damn, to the Hornets. Yeesh, yeesh. We can transition to basketball
Barrett's
here in a
having a hell of
second.
a game.
I want one of these games to get finished before we talk about it. That's why I didn't
The
haven't
Nets are
mentioned
in the
anything
third
about the
quarter.
basketball right now. But
Yeah, the Nets are in the third quarter. Knicks are in the fourth quarter.
And
yeah, I got the
The
net
Nets are
score up.
taking care
Can
of
y'all see the
business.
banner
Uh,
No.
scrolling on the bottom?
Oh yeah, at the very
Is it
yes,
very
not
bottom.
showing?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're handling their business right now against the Rockets, which they needed to do.
Yeah. Um,
Mm-mm-mm.
I think we should bring back Slayton and Richie James. Yeah. For some reason,
I don't
I
care. I'm
don't.
going to be the only one
I
saying
don't.
I'm bringing back Shep too. I don't care if I die on that hill alone. I'm bringing him back for culture reasons.
I mean,
I'm
nah, you're
doing
not
it.
the only one. I just think that me and you don't necessarily agree on that.
That's why I'm the only one to sit
And
on
that's
that hill.
cool.
Just
That's
in case.
fine though. I'm cool with it. Even if he comes back, I'm okay with it. I wouldn't do it. Um, personally, I think if you're talking about bringing back Richie James, what do you need Shepard for? At least Richie James is gonna play.
Shep can play the
So,
outside. James can play on the inside. So I mean, you can
eh,
utilize him in different ways. He has played on the outside, so it does help.
yeah, he's not good there though. I mean, he's better in the slot. We know that. But Tommy says the offensive system isn't dependent for a star receiver. We just have to get more dependable wide receivers who can catch, create some separation. Yeah. And I think I hear a lot of people talking about this Zay Flowers kid. So, what
Yeah.
have you guys seen from Zay Flowers, and is that somebody that you like for the Giants? And I'm gonna get through some more of these comments. I think we can kind of build the conversation off the comments right now until these basketball games get done.
Explosive, incredibly good speed, elusive in the middle of the field. He is smaller, not like not a 6 foot wide receiver, but this kid is electric, absolutely electric with the ball in his hands, and I think he'd be a very good fit with this Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka offense. He's one of my favorite wide receivers coming out of this draft because he's just a guy that when you get the ball in his hands, he can do so much with it, even with the smallest amount of room. He reminds me, I don't want to make the comparisons, but he has a little Tyreek Hill in him, in my opinion. Just the way he explodes in and out of his routes. He's a good route runner. So I think he'd be a very good fit for this Giants offense in 2023 if we're lucky enough to get him in. I don't know if he's going to be a second round. I could honestly see him, maybe around the back end of the first, maybe around the second round. Because, I mean, teams might look at his explosiveness. So we'll see. I'm not counting on Wandale Robinson, to be honest, no Mets. I don't know what Wandale is going in next year. He's going to miss some time. So, plus coming off an ACL, he's not going to be, the same player in that second year. So, Wandale, whatever we get from him in 2023 is a bonus. So, I don't know. I'm not expecting a whole lot from Wandale. I'm just being honest. But you never know. We'll see. But, yeah, I love Zay Flowers. I don't know how you feel about him, Coach, but I love the makeup of Zay Flowers and what he can bring to this Giants offense if we're lucky enough to draft him.
Zay Flowers can play inside. He can play outside. He has great separation, great elusiveness. Um, he can run the shallows. He can go vertical. He can run every pattern that you imagine. Steve Smith, former Carolina Panthers, loves him. He
Mm-hmm.
speaks so highly of him. I saw him play against Rutgers, and he was tearing Rutgers up. The kid can play.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Mm-hmm.
also a dynamic returner.
Mm-hmm.
Zay also said in an interview, same thing I'm saying. He can play inside, he can play outside, he can run every pattern, he gets great separation, has very good borderline, if not elite speed. So don't think because he's 5'9" ish, 5'10" that he can't produce. He can produce. And I just say to you guys, go look up his highlights. I mean, I've been trying to find.
I've seen it.
Um,
He's electric as hell. He's electric with the ball in his hands. He reminds me of like a Jalen Waddle a little bit.
you could say Jalen Waddle, yes. It's just that he played at BC. That's the whole thing. And the
Yeah.
Knicks are, oh my gosh.
Hey, you're going to lose eventually, coach. Just unfortunately had to be the Hornets.
To the Hornets.
Y'all lost.
No, it's 18 seconds left, but
Oh, oh yeah.
they're down by
It's not.
5 points.
It's not looking good.
Mm-mm.
It's not looking good for the New York Knicks
And
right now.
they're now down by 6 points.
The new
Uh,
tough guys of the NBA. I got some comments on the Knicks later.
Tough guys of the NBA.
We're the tough guys. No, I never heard that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
man. They're the new tough guys.
Guess what, tough
Wow.
guys? You just lost to the
Of
Hornets.
Wow.
of the
Where would the
NBA.
tough guys? Where would tough guys come from? That's new to me. Tough
Hey,
guys
man.
is
Look,
reminds me of
what I will say about the Knicks fans is
the
they
fan base.
got
Okay,
passion
never
for their
mind.
team.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. I'm not. Nobody in the media said that, obviously. But you did post an article. We're gonna talk about it in a little bit, but I do want to get into that article that you shared with me, Coach.
Mm.
What's good, Taj? What's
Oh,
good, man?
Hey,
Appreciate you
Tosh.
pulling up, man.
Sabotage.
But yeah, this is another. Let me hold up. Let me go back up to Koof, man.
Just
You
encouraging
said
that
about
Barrett had a good
Shep.
game tonight, coach.
He said I have so much love for Shep, but can he stay healthy? Can he get the separation after his recent injury? How productive can he actually be? And that's what I'm saying, Jeffy. When you talking about Shepard, you got to think if we like Zay Flowers, because a lot of people like Zay Flowers. I'm personally a Jordan Addison fan, but
I
I
like him
would
too.
settle. I would settle for Zay Flowers because I don't think Addison is gonna be there when we draft. So but now you got him. You got Wandell Robinson. You're talking about bringing back Richie James and then Sterling Shepard. Um, yeah, I think that's a bit much. So I definitely think Shep is not. I don't think he's gonna be back. I think eventually he's probably gonna retire. Um,
Yeah.
I think so, and he can just be a coach.
Well,
You know,
like I mentioned before, if they bring him back, you put him on PUP or IR. He doesn't start the season, and then if he can't come back from his injury, you put him on injured reserve for the rest of the season. But at least he's still with the organization as a coach, especially for a young wide receiver that could use a
Mm.
veteran to really help him out. And nobody helps out a good young receiver more than Sterling Shepard. That's the main reason why I'd bring him back. It's because of the importance he could be for a young wide receiver you draft. That's not counting on him for production. So yeah, that's pretty the main reason why I'd like to bring him back because of how important he'd be for a young receiver that's coming into the league and what he could do for that kid.
Malik Knowles, kicker, special team can be K special
Oh,
team. K
is that
State.
K
Oh, K
State?
State. My bad. K State. Kansas State. I
I
guess
think
that's what
I've
you're
heard
saying.
of
Can
him.
be
Yeah.
developed into a great NFL receiver. Okay, so talk about that because I'm ready to start building this team, man. Let's go. What we doing here?
Let's see.
I'm
Which
pulling up film on him now.
and then he says
Six
Josh Downs. I
three.
do like Josh Downs.
I love Josh
I'm a,
Downs.
I'm
I'm
a
big on
UNC
him.
fan. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm
a
big on
big
him.
UNC fan. So I do like Josh Downs. I don't like him as much as some of the other guys, but
Yeah.
I think I would definitely I would pick him in. What do you think? Late second, third round, he'll probably be there.
Yeah, he's a slot guy too. That's the only problem with
Yeah,
him.
that's
He's
the
more
only
for more of a
thing, and
slot
that's what I'm
receiver.
and that's what I'm saying, Jeffy. I don't know if I really want to go there with Sterling Shepard, especially if we're looking at
Yeah.
guys like Josh Downs and Zay Flowers. Um,
We'll have to wait and see
what's
what
good,
Shane is gonna
Almighty?
do. Hey
What's good
Almighty.
with you, man? What's good, man?
I just threw it out there because his boys are back, and you know for a fact that they're going to be wanting to have Shep back on the team. They're like a trio, Jones, Barkley, and Shep. They ride or die together. So you know they're going to try to get Shep back in the organization because of the importance. And we know Mara, the dude is like Mr. Giant. The dude is always back. Every time we always say every year, all right, he's gone. Shep is gone. Shep is gone. Shep is gone. And what ended up happening? Oh, there he is. There's 87 or 3. He's back. Until I see him not in a Giants uniform, I'm always going to think he's back. He's coming back. It's just one of those things. So we'll see. Same thing with Slayton. Same thing with James. Any of these guys. So they sign with somebody else. I'm going to believe that some of them are going to be back. So.
And yeah, that's fair. That's fair to believe that. And hey, I'm with it, man. I'm with it, man. But we do need to build this team as well. So what about the linebacker position? Which I want to do there, man, before we move it over to the basketball conversation. I think the Nets game is getting close to done. The
Yeah, they're
Knicks are
kicking the crap
finished.
out of the Rockets.
Yeah, we'll wait to both games get finished, and then we can get into the conversation and talk about
You
the
got about
games.
you got 8:47 left with the Nets game.
Yeah, they're up by 22 right now. They got that game pretty much
Mhm.
handled.
Y'all
Okay.
said you said the same thing against the Celtics with y'all. It's never over.
No, that's true. That's
Right.
true. Coach, don't put that out there, man. I don't want to be unhappy.
I'm not. No, I'm saying don't say it's a done deal. That's my point.
I'm confident in my team. I love Cedric
You
Tillman, by the way,
confident?
too, Tommy. I love Cedric Tillman. He's another guy I really like as a bigger outside receiver. I like him a lot more than Hyatt. And I'm not the only one that said that. I think
Yeah, I
Tillman
do
would be a
too.
better
All right.
player.
Well, I love Tillman more than Hyatt. I'm not big
Me
Me
on
too.
too.
Hyatt.
No,
So I
no.
mean,
Not big on Hyatt.
I love Hutchinson and
Yes, I like Mingo, too, from Ole Miss.
and Andreas Iosovich
The
from
kid from
Princeton.
Princeton, yep.
Hmm.
And then your boy, Coach, A.T. Perry.
Yeah, AT is good. You can probably get AT though in the fourth round now. Third to fourth round.
And I'm doubling up if I can. I
Yeah,
would not mind doubling up and getting a couple of these kids if you don't get any receiver in the free agency
I'm
or the
gonna have to,
draft or in the trade. So
I'm gonna have to
I
continue
want
working
either
with it.
Johnson or Addison. Yeah,
I don't think you're
I
gonna get
do.
either. I don't think you're
I
Guess
gonna get
what?
do.
either.
Guess what? I don't
What?
want either of them. I don't
You're
want
not
either
big
of them.
on Addison?
Nope, neither of them.
Hmm. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm waiting on Johnson. I don't know
But
about. I still want
I
Addison.
can see why you wouldn't be big
I'm
on
gonna say
Johnson,
this.
but Addison though, coach.
I watched Addison. He didn't impress me at the combine. First of all, now mind
Mm.
you, he didn't go through all the drills and everything. But and his 40 time, his first one was 4.55. His second was 4.49. So I thought he was going to be in the 4.3s to the high 4.4s. So that's disappointing to me. But is he quick? Yes, he's quick.
It's a great
Um,
route runner.
he also did. He played better at Pitt than he did at USC.
Good point.
Mm,
Yeah.
So and
yeah,
the
that's fair.
film that I looked at of him, now I don't know if it's just the film, but all the film I looked at, he was primarily lined on the right side of the formation.
Mm.
He was not on the left side of the formation that much. And when they did, most of the time they ran that way. That's a give to me. Now, again, I don't know if that's the USC's offense.
Mm.
It might be. So, my understanding at Pitt, he played on both sides of the ball. So I'm not saying he can't. It's just, I was not impressed with him. Johnson, is fast. He's big. He's smooth. I just think that based on the way these guys are preached about, like if you told me you can get Johnson in the second round, yeah, get him.
Hmm.
But
What
when
about a guy like Tank Dell? I know Pat's big on him. He's another one of those smaller, quicker,
Tank Dell,
twitchier
you can probably
receivers.
get in the third, fourth round. You can get him there. His 40 times were not good, so he's
Yeah,
going
I
he's
heard.
going to drop. So um, again,
Oh, here's a good one. Almighty says, what about Ninjigba?
nope.
I don't like him much. Not a fan that much of Njigba.
Not a
I
fan?
think he gets hurt way too much, and I think he benefited in his one good year because he had Olave and Wilson right there with him. I'm
And
not big on Njigba.
when he produced against Utah in the Rose Bowl when all the other top receivers were out. So Yes. Can he produce? Yes. Is he good? Yes. Can he run the patterns? Yes. It's just something about he reminds me of Hyatt. He just
Yeah,
reminds me of
yeah.
Hyatt. I mean, he's not that his speed is not to Hyatt speed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
No.
say. The question is speed.
Yeah.
So that's why for me there see the thing is with this draft, most people say there's not a lot of top end receivers. Okay. But for me, you can get receivers later in the draft. So that's why for me, I'm not looking at a first round receiver. I'm just not.
No.
Um, I'm looking at DBs. Maybe if a particular tight end is there, maybe,
Hey,
Hmm.
Tudo.
maybe
Tudo, what's
a
good?
certain interior offensive lineman if he's there. The receivers you can, for me, you can get, and there don't as far as the DBs, you can tell me that there's a lot, but the one DB that I want right now, mm, the kid from Maryland. Mm,
Really?
Deontay Banks.
yes.
He's
Really?
good.
And,
He's gonna be good.
I'm gonna tell you well, I don't want to
Yeah,
spoil it because my show, I released it on my show as soon as
I
it comes
see.
out. You know what?
yeah.
I'll give y'all
Can't
my
wait
big
for
word.
that.
Deontay
You can go
Banks.
ahead and
Yeah.
plug that. Go ahead and plug that in, Coach.
All right,
Your new
Coach.
show.
Oh, well, now get back to me as if it's coming. All right. Well, I'm going to be doing my own show. It's going to be on iHeart and Spotify and all of those podcasts. Um, um, Shadow Worlds is sponsoring me doing that. Big shout out to Nas for giving me the opportunity. I've already done one recording. I'm just waiting for him to let me know when he's gonna put it out there. It's only going to be an hour. It's not much. I'm going to be also doing interviews, different interviews. I'm going to be interviewing some people here and throughout all sports, and I'm going to talk about all sports, and not just New York based. It's going to be across the world that I'm going to talk about, just to give you my perspective, my view, and what do I see in terms of sports in itself, and introducing myself to a broader audience, trying to grow myself, but also help a lot of the content creators that are associated with me, bring them onto the show, let them talk about themselves, and also, generate and get more of an audience. So, that, and it's going to be Coach Ed's Read and Attack Sports Show.
Ooh,
Now,
I like that.
once everything is released, because I will have the video, I'm kind of my thinking is kind of like what's his name, you know how Colin Cowherd has the
The
radio but
herd.
he also has the video.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of trying to do it like that's my vision. So that's pretty much what I'm working on. The first show was already recorded. Again, like I said, I'm just waiting for Shadow Worlds to release it. Whether it's supposed to be sometime this week. That's what I'm waiting on. So once he finishes with it and it tells you when he's going to release it, I'll announce it, get all the links out, and everybody can listen in. And then once that's out and the first show is once the show is out, then I'll release the video after that. So if people want to wait for the video, you can definitely do that. So that's pretty much it. And on there, I did talk about a lot of different things. I talked about the John Morant situation. I mean, I talked, a little bit about the draft. I released my big board. I'll give you I released my top 20 big board. That's what I did
Mm-hmm.
after the combine. So I know there's going to be a lot of hate with my big board, but I don't care. That's my big board. So, and I want to talk about it later. We can talk about it. I don't have a problem with just talking about my big board. I mean,
It's
I'm not.
my big board.
Yeah, everyone has their big boards though, and this is
Yeah. No,
mine.
no, I'm
And I
just,
will
I'm
tell
just
you,
messing.
there's going to be some points that you guys, people are going to talk about. They're going to
Oh
say
yeah.
why is such and such so high, why is such and such so low.
Oh, you don't
You
know what
know,
you're talking about, Coach. You have no idea why is this guy there. Yeah.
exactly. So. but it's
Yeah.
based on
I don't-
what I saw, or based off of my film study and what I saw from the combine, and it
Mhm.
can still change. Pro days. I'm going to be looking for pro days, so all of that. But Tudo, Big Blue Alex, what's up? Go
Alex, what's
ahead.
up, bro?
What's good, Alex?
Sorry about your Knicks,
Appreciate you.
Alex.
Appreciate you stopping by, man.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Alex.
it's been
Yeah,
crazy. The Nets are winning. They're beating the Rockets. Not a surprise.
I'm gonna glow about somebody when we start talking basketball. I'm gonna be glowing about one of these guys on the Nets. I'm gonna be talking so much good about this kid. But go ahead, MYG.
Yeah, nah. Just getting to the comments, man. Just talking about what was that? Somebody put a
all
comment
right.
in there. I
All
wanted
right.
Coach to talk about dang, because I'm like I said, we trying to move forward with this thing here now.
Mhm.
Um
You know what?
oh, the tight end, this guy, Kuntz. What you think about him, Coach?
Oh no,
Um
I've talked about Zach Kuntz for the longest while. I
Yeah.
mean, I before the draft, I was talking about I love him, 6'8" kid from ODU, Old Dominion University. He actually transferred to OD from Penn State. He runs very well. He has good athletic ability. He does need to develop his blocking game. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. He's good there, but um, if you can get him later in the draft, he's definitely a good value pick. It's definitely worth it. Um, but yeah, I mean, if y'all want to look at a little bit of him, I'll bring him up if you want.
Coach, I have
Um,
um
another receiver I want to ask you
yeah,
about too. Marvin
let me
Mims Jr. What do you think about
go ahead.
him?
yeah, surprised me at the combine. He's a lot smoother than I thought. Um, when he was running the gauntlet, I was just like, wow, impressive, good speed, good hands. I'll be honest, I kind of, because of Oklahoma and the system that they've been running for years, it's a lot more
Mhm.
open. So, I question some of their route running, but this kid looks like he could definitely run the route tree. Is he going to be have to be developed some more? Yes, but he has all the tools there. So he would be a very good receiver. He can develop through time for me to be a number one wide receiver, but you
Mhm.
have to develop him. But he can get the separation. He can looks like he can run all the patterns in the pattern tree if you developing good hip movement, because those are some of the things that receivers need to have is good hips, good feet, quick feet, good hands. So I mean, he definitely impressed me at from the combine. And when I went back and looked at some of his film, just a little bit, I'm like, okay, the kid can definitely play. So,
Thank you,
Let me
Coach.
ask you something, Coach.
hmm
And this is gonna be an unpopular opinion.
hmm
So alert, unpopular opinion alert. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Matter of fact, I'm gonna tease it. Let me throw the commercial in there. And then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna give you my unpopular opinion. Hang on for a brief message from our sponsor.
Having credit issues? Tired of getting denied for a car, a loan, or a house? Let Wise Consulting Solutions help you improve your scores and get you back on track. Sign up and schedule a free consultation and credit analysis today.
All right. Shout out to the sponsor. But what I want to talk about real quick is this team and how they want to build this team. And what I think they're trying to do, and you had just said something about the tight end, right?
hmm
That's why I'm leading up to. So and Tommy talks about this actually in the chat a lot. 12 and 13 personnel.
hmm hmm
And what the Giants could do is they could have a feature tight end and and I'm gonna let coach talk about the players, but I'm just talking about the theory and how this thing could work. They could have a future tight end And you can run the 12 and the 13 personnel and just have Barkley, Jones running. You upgrade the offensive line, and then you can have that tight end. And then maybe you don't go get a real dynamic receiver. I mean, you're obviously going to upgrade the receiver room, no doubt. But what I'm saying is you can have an offense that looks a little bit more like Kansas City, where you have a lot of speed guys and good route runners and guys that can get open, but the feature will be your tight end, your quarterback, and your running back, or two of your tight ends. Because remember, we got Bellinger too, and then obviously Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. And I'm gonna let Coach talk about the tight end possibilities. But if you can have an offense like that, where you can play a little bit of bully ball, but still have the ability to stretch the field and get big plays, I think that would fit more into Daniel Jones' skill set when you're looking at the tight end, um, where he and shout out to Big Pat, where you looking at Daniel Jones getting better at reading defenses in the middle of the field. So, and look at Jalen Hurts, even over there in Philadelphia with Goddard and how that offense is kind of ran. Yeah, they got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, but that's what I'm saying. If you can get a guy like even some of the other players we talked about, like some of the other receivers in the later rounds, and get a guy like um a Mayor or somebody like that in the first round, I think you would be cooking with grease. And I think that would help Saquon Barkley, and then maybe you add a running back, and you're just gonna build a team that can compete in your division more than anything else. I think that's what the Giants need to do. They need to build a team that can compete in this division, and this is why people have to have some forethought, forethought or whatever, foresight, I should say. I can't talk. Um, they should have some foresight before they talking about these contracts and these different things with these players because Joe Shane knows and Brian Dable and Mike Kafka know what kind of team they want to build. And if they didn't think Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley could get it done, they wouldn't bother. But what I'm saying is the tight end could be a feature of this offense, and we don't even need to chase the wide receiver position and spend a bunch of money there when we can just draft guys. Remember, they're trying to build through the draft. Like you said earlier, Jeffy, they want to sign their players, their own players, and build through the draft. And when you're looking at the draft, and I'm gonna pass it over to Coach because he can get into some of the players and what they have to offer. When you're looking at the draft, I think there's weapons to be had in the draft, and I don't necessarily think the New York Giants are going to be looking to free agency to go get any big names. Go ahead, Coach.
Okay, you talking about tight ends. Mike Mayer is good. Definitely can play inline, flex out. Nets one. It's official. Um, uh, he can play
Let's
inline. He can
go
block pretty well.
in a row.
He can flex out. He can run. He can run the patterns. He has good hands, good size. Um, Kincaid is more of a receiving tight end. He needs to continue to work on his blocking. He's a little bit smaller, but he's around. I think he's around like 225, 230, while Mayer's around 240. But the tight end who I'm going to be honest, I would want more than any tight end is Washington from Georgia. Now, I know if you watch the combine, you might say, "Oh, it's because of the one-handed catch." No, it's not. It's he can flex out. He's very athletic. He can run the pat. He can run the tree. He's still developing. Good hands. Like I said, good athleticism. But the thing that impressed me the most from watching the tight ends at the combine, when they went to the blocking sled, most of the tight ends had, trouble with the sled, whether it's their technique or their drive, whatever the case may be. When Washington went on there, he manhandled the sled. I mean, he drove it like it was nothing. If you watched it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That goes well into helping not only a quarterback in passing situations if you keep your tight end in, but in the running game. When you have a tight end who can handle the outside edge, who can come down and block, he can handle a 350-pound defensive lineman easy. The kid is strong. Um, that's why I'm big on him as far as the tight end. I'm not going to say he's number one. He's two on my list. You know, if you want to flip flop 2 to 3 between him and Kincaid, I
What's good,
understand.
bookends?
But he
Any
is
dollar.
he was a man amongst boys at that combine on that sled, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, he fits into, like Tommy's talking about, that 12 personnel. You know, because with Bellinger and him, you can run balance, you can run double tight ends, you can run a tight end on each side. So defenses have to play you honest. You can still attack the vertical seams, but if you get into that running game, you could pound defenses, and it protects the interior of your offensive line. It really does. So he's one that, you know what, I fell in love with him from the tight end. And then yes, that one-handed catch, I mean, literally he just caught it with one hand, like the ball hit his hand and he squeezed it, and that's it. You know, he just held it up there for about a second or two before he just brought it down like he was holding a baseball. I mean, it's amazing. And then the film that I've seen when going down the sideline, he's jumping. I mean, jumping over 6 foot defensive backs. Uh, the kid is amazing, and he's going to be hard to tackle because a lot of DBs are not going to want to tackle him. Yeah, 6'7" and ran a 4.6 40. He is a major mismatch for DBs and linebackers because again, 6'7", you can throw the ball up. If a safety is 5'11", I mean, he's already 8 inches shorter, and the kid just proved, you know, he can catch that ball
That
with
dude's
one
built
hand.
like a you talking about Washington, right?
Yep,
That
yep.
dude's built like a lineman. He
He,
would what he
okay.
would do, coach, is he would upgrade the
Hmm.
passing game and the running game in one shot.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why, other than a DB, that's why, I mean, I know everyone loves Mike Mayer, but for this offense, I think he would be a better fit because playing that tight end, he would help Bellinger, and he would help the running game immensely. And you could still flex him out. You could flex him out and play him in the slot or on the outside edge, and you know defenses are going to have to declare what you're doing, and he could still run the pattern tree. You know, so you know it's just he's for me. And I know some prognosticators say he's a second round draft pick. I understand, but for me, I'm not going to lie. At 25, I'm unless that DB from Maryland is there. I mean, and on the bench press, he was man. I mean, it's just he
What
takes me back to the days of Mark Bavaro. And
there
yeah,
you
that's
go.
old school. I'm old school. I get it. It's a different, but Mark Bavaro could block, but he can also run the route tree. And then he was hard to tackle when he was running downfield, i.e. the San Francisco 49ers. Remember that play if you're a true Giants fan. That's why for me, that's the kid that I would want, other than Deontay Banks. You know, Deontay Banks has the tools to end up being a number one cornerback, and him and Adoree would just, you know, it would solidify a lot of things defensively. It would allow you to blitz a whole lot more, which is what Wink wants to do. So, but that's me. That's how I look at it. So, um,
let me ask you something. So Jeffy can answer this, and you too, coach. Because what you just said about you was kind of like at 25, and I think the reason why we're saying kind of to a lot of these players is because this draft is really deep at a lot of positions.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the best thing I think the Giants could probably do is trade back
Mm-hmm.
and take a guy like Washington or take the center, um Smiths or somebody like that, and pick up another second and then take another guy, a linebacker or a receiver, and then you have two thirds as well. So I think the second and the third rounds is kind of the sweet spot right here. And if the Giants could trade back out of the first round and get into the early second and double up, then I think that's probably the best course of action. But what you think?
I mean, I don't have a problem with that per se if you really have someone targeted, but the only problem chance you risk is if you're moving back into the second, what happens if somebody else takes that player ahead of you in the first? So
But
if you
that's what I'm
really
saying because you have a sweet spot. Basically, if you have a bunch of players kind of grouped together, and then maybe you miss out on your first guy, and then but you if you have a similar grade, is what I'm saying,
oh
then
yeah, yeah.
they sit back and you go BPA.
Well, yeah,
But
it depends on you. Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
nah,
Finish what you're saying.
that's what I'm saying. But you want to get as many picks in that second to third round range is what I'm saying. And if you don't have a definitive like guy in the first round and you can trade back, I to me, I think this is the perfect draft for Joe Shane to really get busy. You know what I'm saying, as far as maneuvering. Because
Well,
it's
you said something. You said if you don't have a particular guy, I do. I just said I'd want Banks. I don't think
right.
Banks is going to be there. I think he's going to go higher. But
Hmm.
if he's there in the late in the first round, that's who I'm taking.
Oh
That's
yeah,
me.
absolutely, yeah. I
So
agree
and
with you
then
there. Mhm.
Washington, I'm saying now Washington is basically the number two person that I want on my draft board because of where we're drafting. Um, I'm going to take him over Michael Mayer. And I know I'll probably get killed for it, but I think Washington would fit better into the Giants' offense because it would help in the running game as well as in the vertical seams, and he would command a double team by the safety, and that also will help your outside receivers. So even if you don't have that dynamic number one, as we were talking about earlier, he's just gonna because of his size and ability to get down the field it's going to force defenses to at least give safety help, especially if he's on a linebacker or another nickel or a money backer. So that's why I say for me those are the two I want in the first round. The first round. That's
Is
me.
is is Hopkins a free agent? Did I miss
No,
something?
Hopkins is with what you call it, but I saw an article where
I
um,
mean, is he
he
getting released or something?
they want to trade him. So
Oh, okay. So that's what Wells, I guess, is talking
yeah.
about. In a trade.
He's not a free agent. No, he's with the Cardinals. The Cardinals are looking
Yeah.
for a second round draft pick. I just saw it. I think it's on Bleacher Report. They want a second round draft pick, possibly a later, like a fifth or a sixth round draft pick, or a young player, something like that. And if you're gonna have to give up all that, I'm just like, mm. I mean, he's
Yeah.
31. He's 31. I think I don't know his contract right now, but he's still on the books for I think 2 more years, and I think he's. Let me see if I can pull up
You
his
said they want a third and a young player?
no a second. Let me see if I
Oh no, not for a second round. I'm sorry. Can't do it.
hold on, man. Let me look up his contract.
While you doing that, Tommy says no to Hopkins, Odell. We need 21-year-old fresh dogs at wide receiver. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Tommy, but
DeAndre Hopkins. His base salary for 23 is 19,450,000. He has a cap hit of 30,000, 30,750,000. And how long is he still signed for? He signed until 2024. His cap hit in 2024 is 26,215,000 with a base salary of 14,915. So
Um,
that's a lot of money for me to give up a second round draft pick for a 31 going on 31 32-year old receiver. Sorry, that's if you told me a third round draft pick and that's all I'm giving up, then yeah, I'm gonna do it. But a second and then possibly either a player or a late round draft pick, I don't know. I mean, Hopkins is good. Don't get me wrong, but that's a lot for an older receiver for
yeah.
me. If you were talking about T. Higgins and I was giving up all of that, then yeah, and I know you're going to have to give up a first for Higgins if he was, well, he's not going to become available, especially after the Mixon situation. But um, but again, Hopkins, I don't know. That's me. That's me. I mean, Jeff, what do you think?
Oh, sorry, I was actually just watching some highlights of this Deontay Banks kid. So,
Oh, okay.
do I want Hopkins? Honestly, no, I don't. I don't want another older receiver, 31-year-old older receiver on this team. And I'd rather go with a guy that's got. If you're going to trade for a receiver, I'd rather go for like a Ayuk or a Higgins or a Pittman Jr. Like one of
Mhm.
those types of receivers that are at least younger, going into their prime, that could still grow in this offense. But at this point, I'd rather just go into the draft because the Giants have actually had success finding receivers in the draft over the years. They just, need to keep them on the football field. But yeah, I'd rather honestly go through the draft and get my number one receiver and develop him. I mean, if we get Hopkins, am I going to complain? No, the guy's going to be probably a Hall of Fame receiver when it's all said and done. But either way, I don't know. I'm leaning towards no, and I'm not giving up a second round pick for him. No way, no how, not happening. If that's what they want, goodbye. We'll go to somebody. We'll go to another avenue to get a receiver if we want or a veteran. And it sounds like, by the way, anybody that's interested in Juju Smith-Schuster, it sounds like that Kansas City is going to
He's going
resign
to,
him.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
Juju's not going to be available. Kansas City's going to keep him.
Yeah, I don't want Hopkins either. Um, a second round draft pick and more. No, I just seen what you sent me, coach. Nah, I'm good. Pass. Let's build through the draft. We got our
Oh,
guys back. I don't want OBJ. I don't want DeAndre Hopkins. Just give me Washington. You know, if we got to get him in the first. I mean, the hell with it. Just give me somebody that's young, that can help us both in the passing game and the running game, and somebody that can build with the core of this team. This young team. This team is young. You know, we don't have a lot of older guys on our roster right now. You know, and yeah, we do need veterans, but as far as signing a bunch of veterans, eh, just bring back your own veterans, like Jeffy said. If you're gonna do that, so yeah, I don't want nobody else's other guys because it doesn't seem to really work out for the Giants, um, unless you feel like this team is ready to win a Super Bowl,
hmm
which
hmm
that can be debated, but we ain't gonna do that now. We can transition to the basketball since both the games are
Okay.
done. Um,
Okay. I'll hold this for later.
so yeah. Nah, oh, you had something you was gonna share, Coach?
No, I remember I said I was going to give you my big board, but I'll hold that till later.
Oh, okay. Tease the big boy. I like it, man. I like it, man. Where's the? Let me do this. Let me do this because I really want to talk about and no, that's not it. Here we go. The Knicks. So the Knicks 9-game win streak snapped. and and I'm just chuckling because I'm picking with the Knicks fans because they've been they've been coming at me really, really tough. But you know, It's all in fun to me because
Hmm.
I don't really have no hate for the New York Knicks, not like that. You know what I'm saying? But win streaks snap. The big bullies of the NBA right now. Number one in the power rankings.
I hated
Uh,
that. I'm sorry. I hated that. I hated that bullshit. Excuse me. Sorry. There's no freaking way
Number
the
one
Knicks.
in the
They were
rankings.
CBS
What?
Sport,
Number
CBS
one.
Sports,
Share it
CBS
if you
Sports.
can, Coach. If you can share
No,
it,
I'll pull it
um,
up. I'll pull it
Oh,
up.
because yeah,
hey,
number one in the power rankings.
CBS
Now,
Sports.
this team has been playing well. Obviously, in the title, I got 9 in a row. So, it's just to me,
Oh, here it is, right in my face.
you got it, Coach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pulling it up right now.
that's funny.
Okay, I got it. I got it for you. There, here, wait a minute. Present. I'm sorry. I hated that. I'm like, what the? We don't deserve to be number one. We beat some good teams. Let me know when you have it.
yeah, you got it. There you go.
Here it is. CBS
Hold on,
Sports
let me
Power
take
Ranking
a minute
surged to number one,
Huh.
and let's see what you say. Well, I'm just going to get to the rankings. The Knicks were number one. The Nuggets were number two.
How are the
The Bucks
Nuggets
were
not
number
number
three.
one?
How were the Bucks not number
over
one?
the Bucks.
The
I still put the
76ers,
I
the
get the
Suns,
Nuggets.
the
Mm.
Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Kings, the Grizzlies, the Nets were all
You
in
I
the
put in
mean,
the
you
top
can
top
make an
10.
argument. Yeah, you can make an argument for
top
the rest
10.
of the teams, but you can't make an argument to
No.
me for the Nuggets, the and the Bucks.
Yeah, these
Absolutely not.
exactly. Those two, if you want to say they're either one of them, I wouldn't argue with that. Sixers should have been three. I'll even give you Suns four. The Knicks, if you want to put them at five, all right, I can accept that, or even six. Even though we beat the Celtics, two times last week, but number one to me that was a joke. That was a
Yeah.
straight up joke, man. I just, what's up, Mac? I just was
Hey
like,
Mac.
no, you got to be kidding me. There's no way. I love my Knicks. I love my Knicks.
Good,
Don't get me
Mac.
wrong. I mean, they put egg all over my body right now because of my earlier rants over them. But number one, and now we just got our karma. We just got our karma. Thank you, CBS Sports.
Mm.
Yep, and that was karma, for the Knicks. But I was actually watching some Knicks film.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel quickly is gonna be a star.
Yeah, he's good.
You have a budding star on your roster. Um, and I don't really know exactly what the Knicks are gonna do because I mean you have quickly, you have Brunson. We know Randall's pretty good. Um, and but Barrett, the inconsistency with him. But look, you got a guy. You got quickly. That dude's gonna be good if you let him develop. Now some people could say Tommy puts in here. Mike Brown gets Coach of the Year. Tib a close second for it.
Agree.
I was
Agree.
Sacramento.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with
yeah,
that.
yeah, no doubt. But I think quickly, I think quickly is definitely gonna develop into a star. I mean, when I look at that kid, his stop his stutter moves, like
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
his crossover, his pull up jump shot is excellent right now. He's hitting the 3 pointer. Um, this guy can get to the lane. He can definitely create his own shot at will. Um, he's gonna be good, man. He's gonna be a really good player. Now he could develop a little bit more defensively, but he's still really good there too as well. He's not bad. So I mean, I don't think he's a liability, but really, man, let this kid develop and let this team develop, man. And I'm gonna tell you one thing about the Knicks. Now they lost tonight, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna kill them for it,
I
but
will.
you can do that. You're the Knicks fan. I'm not the Knicks fan. I'm coming from a kind of a objective
Mm-hmm.
standpoint.
I might do it
Um,
just for fun. No, I'm just kidding.
you
I'm not
could do
gonna
it
do it.
too,
No,
Jeffy.
I'm
I
not
know
gonna
you.
do it. I'm
I
not
know
gonna
the
do
Knicks.
it.
I know the Knicks been getting on your nerves lately, but
No, no,
you
I
know
can't say nothing.
they
They
pick
kicked
with
our
they
ass twice. They kicked
yeah
our
they
ass
pick with
twice. I
me
can't say
too.
nothing.
Yeah, they pick with me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because we Nets fans, and for
Hmm.
some reason, a lot of Knicks don't like the Nets fans. I don't get it, but
It's
whatever.
okay. It's
Um,
okay.
but anyway, man. What I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So the Knicks right now, you know, they've been playing good on offense outside of this game. But what I seen, because I actually went and watched some film, like I said, Mitchell Robinson
Hmm.
is the difference maker right now.
Yep.
Because without him, your defense isn't that good. It's just not. Yeah, Hart's cool, Hart's okay, but I think with Mitch, I think, but you see, you got to look at it, Coach. It's not just it's his presence. You know what I'm saying? And him developing his offensive game would go a long way into the Knicks being a really, really dominant team.
It's
With
your version of
quickly,
Claxton.
right? With quickly, with Grimes, and then you have Brunson, Randall, and of course the newly acquired Josh Hart. And whatever you want to do with RJ Barrett, that's cool. That's up to you. You know, I don't have no stock in the game, as they say. I just feel like, you know, he's he's a outcast on your team like Ben Simmons is on our team. Just he can
Uh,
actually play. You know what I'm
uh,
saying?
uh,
That's how I feel about him.
I
But
hate that name.
but
Well,
I'm gonna let Coach get in there, man, and talk about his team, man. And then we'll go
okay.
around to Jeffy. Go ahead.
Um, you said something about Mitch with the defense. Yes, he's the anchor, so I'm not going to take away that. But when you say our defense isn't good, there's one thing that I have been watching with their defense. They rotate very well. So even if somebody is open, somebody is flying to close out to get to that person. So even with the ball rotations, I mean, I watched it with all those games, and that's even with Hartenstein in there. That's even with Sims in there. So it's not just Mitchell is the one that gives the defense or helps the defense. They're playing the defense. They're bought into it. Yes, you can play confidently because Mitchell is back there to protect the rim, and that's what he's there for. But they are playing good defense. Every last
Who's
one
the
of them.
who's the better perimeter defender, Mitchell Robinson or Hartenstein?
Of course, is going to be Mitchell Robinson.
That's what I'm saying, Coach. What you talking about the rotation? You guys are rotating. I'm not saying your defense was bad. I'm saying it's better. It's way better now because of
You
Mitchell
said our
Robinson.
defense. You said our defense isn't good. That's why I said that.
Well,
You
I was
said our.
saying
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
right. I meant I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I don't think it was that good without Mitchell Robinson. Personally, I mean, if that's what you're arguing, yeah. But what I'm saying with him in the lineup,
Of
the
course,
way
it's
you
better.
guys,
It's elite. Yes, I agree with that.
and that's what
Yes,
I'm saying. That's the difference.
but what I'm saying is when they play defense, even when Hartenstein is in there, they do rotate. Hartenstein does protect her. Even tonight, what's his name? Rozier came down the lane for trying to get a tomahawk dunk, and Hartenstein blocked him. So
Mm,
I'm not going to sit here and say that without Mitchell
I,
Robinson,
I would I would say I would want to look
it's
at that a little bit more with some of the better teams in the East. I would
okay.
have to go and
That's
look at
that.
that because I don't feel like your defense has been that great until Mitchell Robinson got back in the lineup.
Mitchell Robinson just came back when they were
He's
winning
A
been
week
before.
ago.
he's
Exactly, and
he's been there during this win streak though.
not the full 10 game win streak. I mean 9 games. Sorry, 9 games.
Yeah, I would say he's been there most of it, right?
No,
Or no?
maybe half of it. You want to say half of it? He just came back and probably what the right before the first Celtic game, if I'm not mistaken. The first Celtic win last week, if I'm not
Think so.
mistaken.
I think so.
So prior to that, they were winning. It was Josh Hart because they everybody said the same thing. Once they got Josh Hart, I mean, we won what, seven with Josh when Josh Hart got here, and then that's when Mitchell came in and he helped solidify. I'm not sitting here saying our defense is elite with him, but it's not that okay. It's much better with him in there, yes, but it's not. For me, it sounds like you're saying we're in the bottom 20s defensively, and I'm saying no, we're not. I'm saying
Nah,
if you want
that's
to say
that's not what I'm arguing. I'm
okay,
arguing Mitchell Robinson,
makes us a
and
better
and
defensive team. Yes,
right. I mean,
I agree
and
with you
because
there.
Hartenstein isn't scaring anybody, and he's
No,
definitely.
no, no,
I,
no,
What
I
no.
happened to
think when you,
Jericho Sims?
Because Mitchell came back, Jericho went back down in the
yeah.
rotation. That's just the
Hmm.
reality. Yes, they started him because they like Hartenstein coming off the bench with the second unit.
And
Okay.
Robinson makes Hartenstein better.
Yes, I'm not sitting here saying that, bro. Please believe me. We are a much better defensive team with Mitchell Robinson. That's facts. But what I'm saying is our defense isn't, it's if you want to say it's middle of the pack without him, yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think we're both saying the same thing. But
Yeah, we are.
yes,
Because I'm not saying y'all trash without him. I'm just saying he puts
he
you,
elevates our
elevates you
defense.
to
Yes,
the top 10. I would say.
I like
yes,
Grimes
I
as a
agree with
defender
that.
too.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, 1,000% with that statement. Yes. And I'm with you there. He's helped solidify. And then when you have guys like Josh Hart, Grimes, who can play defense, hell, even Jalen Brunson at times, who hasn't been considered a great defender, but he defends, and that's
Hmm.
also a product of Tibbs. I have to tip my hat to Tibbs. I'm always killing him, but what he's doing with his defensive rotations, number one, we all understand that. He's allowing them to play offensively and he's playing the younger kids. I mean, he went to that 9-man rotation, and in that, you have the young guys, and then when for example, like tonight, because Brunson isn't there, you're bringing in Deuce McBride, and then like when Mitchell was in there, Sims comes in, so they're coming in over veteran guys like D Rose, like Frenchie, Fournier. So I mean, so
You call him Frenchie?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm looking at because Jeff, I've always been complaining about he don't play the young guys, but
Yeah,
now
you have been.
he is playing the young guys now, and they're
Hmm.
starting to develop. They're getting comfortable, which is all the only one who fully isn't developing. And unfortunately, he's going to have to leave the Knicks to be able to fully develop is Obi Toppin, and that's because of Julius. Julius, as much as I want Obi here, Julius is he's killing it, man. I can't, he's playing like he played 2 years ago, and this is what I've been looking for. So
I think you need Julius Randle.
yes,
Um,
we do, we do. He
and
plays well. He plays well with Josh Brunson. I mean Jalen Brunson. He
Yeah.
the
plays well
He
with
Knicks,
him.
didn't, he didn't play that great tonight because remember, you guys played tonight
Yeah,
without Brunson. So you
yeah,
didn't have your engine of the team. So I think you guys would have won
yeah.
if Brunson was playing.
I think so too. I mean, quickly
still should have
also.
beat the Hornets though.
Yes, we
Yeah.
still should have
No,
beat the
you're right.
Hornets. We were
You got too
up,
much talent.
and
Yeah.
yes, that's why this is a bad loss. But now they have to rebound. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, we have one of the easiest schedules," and I'm like, I don't see it. But hey, you got to go out to. I think we play what's their name? Sacramento next. Let me see. Let me
Um,
double check. Knicks.
the
That's not going to
Knicks.
be easy at all.
Exactly. I
Oh,
think we
the next
play
game against Sacramento. Yeah. Then LA, Portland.
exactly.
So they
That's not
yeah.
going to be easy either.
So that's what I'm saying. When people were saying that, I'm like, how is it? Let me look at full schedule. Teams, Knicks, Knickerbockers. So why are you not opening up? Damn it! I hate my fucking computer. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me. Let
Oh,
me.
it's
Let me.
okay.
It boggles my mind. Okay, so yeah, we got Sacramento on Thursday, the Clippers on Saturday, Sunday the Lakers, and then next Tuesday Portland. Then we come home to Denver, got at home to Minnesota, at Miami, at Orlando, then home to Houston, home to Miami, at Cleveland, home to Washington, at Indiana, at New Orleans, at Indiana. I don't see how it's the one of the easiest schedules. I mean, someone tell me what am I missing?
Well, that's some of those games are pretty brutal. You have a lot. You're
Exactly.
gonna have to beat the Heat. The Heat are the only team you
Exactly.
got to beat. That's one of those teams you got
Miami's
to take
going to
care
want
of.
to exact that revenge. I mean,
Hmm.
Denver, we know Denver. Minnesota is not an easy one. That West Coast trip, it concerns me a lot. I mean, and now you lose to Charlotte. So, it could easily that we could lose all four of those games, come home to Portland, lose that to Denver. I mean, now we could easily win all those games, but to say it's easy, no. We got to get back on our grind, and we have to close out. So
Yeah. Telling you right now, the Nets had themselves a brutal 9-game stretch coming out. I mean, theirs is brutal who they have to play in the next 9 games. And this is going to be telling where the Nets are going to go in terms of where they're in their playoff stands because I could easily see them losing a lot of these games coming up. I really could because it's pretty bad. It's
oh,
pretty
and this,
bad what the Nets have got coming up
and this
after their
loss put
win
them.
tonight.
This loss tonight put them 2 games behind Cleveland now. 2 games.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Boston's taken a little bit of a step back recently. They've lost a few games. They haven't really been playing as well as they were previously. So maybe a couple of
Yeah,
those chinks in the
screw
Boston Celtics
Boston.
armor. Oh yeah, that was so freaking sweet beating them by 20 when we were down by 20. Oh
Yeah,
god, that felt so good. Oh, that was so good beating them when they were beating us by 28. Oh, that was the
I'm
best
down there.
best win of the season.
Damn, I think you like that a little bit too much, Jeff.
I hate
I,
Yeah.
Boston. I dislike
I
Boston.
don't
I don't
think you're good.
care. I don't
I,
care. I dislike Boston so much. That
but
was
the
such a great
way the
win.
way you said it, I'm like, if your girl was here, she probably look at you like, is that another chick you talking about?
No. Boston, when I said the word Boston,
I'm just messing with you, bro.
God damn you, coach.
Oh man. Yeah, man. Um, I want to stay with the Knicks for a minute though, because
Damn.
look, what's
What's
the
up?
what's the standings? I'm trying to pull up the standings real quick.
I
Right
have
Here
it.
we
now.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Let me see this.
No, that ain't it.
I have it right here. CBS Sports Column. What do you want to know?
Um,
It's Milwaukee by 2.5 over Boston.
Good.
Boston second. Boston is a game and a half over Philly. Philly is 3 games over Cleveland. Cleveland is 2 games over us, and we are 1 game over Brooklyn. And
Do you
that's your
guys
top
have the
six.
tie? You have the tie over us because of conference record?
that's what I'm trying to
Mm,
look up.
yes, I mean right now we're 28 and 17, but you're 26 and no, technically.
Or we tied? Let me see.
Mm,
Hold on,
NBA
I'm gonna get to the.
standings.
Here we go. Okay, I got it, fellas. Hold on, I'm gonna share.
I
Yeah,
gotta
you're
go to
better than us. You're better than us right now in terms of conference. You have a couple
we're,
more
tw-
wins.
we're 28 and 17, and you're 26 and 17.
Yeah,
See, I don't.
because you played a couple of more Eastern Conference games than we have so far, so that's why you have a couple more wins than we do.
But you can. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean,
Excuse me.
All right, can y'all see it?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, the Knicks 28 and 17. Dang, this is getting interesting. Ooh. Knick fans was talking really spicy, but really these two teams are tied in the loss column.
Exactly. Both places,
Wow.
even in the conference, we're tied in the loss column.
Wow.
and it's
Wow.
2 games in the wins. That's
Yeah,
why
those
I
Nets
hesitated.
don't really suck that bad, do they, guys? They don't really suck
I
that
guess
bad.
not.
Nope.
No,
Because we don't suck that
what,
bad.
wait a minute, wait a minute. What did I tell y'all after the trade?
Not
I told
you.
y'all,
Not you. Not you.
Get him, Jeffy. Let me
Other
mute my mic.
Knicks fans. Other Knicks fans said, "Oh,
no,
you
I
guys
get it.
you guys are going to suck. You have nobody on your team." Hey, guess what, everyone? You ever heard of
Oh,
Michael
Lord.
Bridges? That young man
Yeah.
right now is turning into a superstar. Start hearing that name, Michael Bridges, superstar. That's what I'm looking at when I see this kid play. And where did he come from,
Superstar?
Mac? If you're still in the chat, Villanova.
Okay,
Yes, coach.
So,
yes, I do think this kid is playing,
no,
turning into a
hold.
superstar.
Okay, if that's the case, then what do you consider Jalen Brunson? Is he a superstar?
Yeah, I think Brunson's turning into a superstar too.
I think they're both stars. I don't
I think
consider
they're
them
emerging
superstars.
as superstars. Emerging.
Mhm. Okay, I'll give you that for now.
I will say I think Jalen Brunson is playing well, but he's getting it's it's like the old conversation that we have in some of those spaces, coach. Look at the talent around him.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, I mean, we don't have what you guys have over there. But yet still, to Jeffy's point, these guys are getting it done.
He's an elite defender too. Elite defender.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He's doing it with not a lot around him. So again, imagine if we develop this team and put some pieces around the core group, but they got to figure out something with
But
Cam Thomas.
when you say pieces around them, like Jalen Brunson, honestly, I mean, Quickly is good, but he's inconsistent. Look what he
He's
did
got an
today.
all-star and Julius Randle. I just talked about Quickly as a budding superstar.
Budding, okay, well, you could say the same thing about Cam Johnson. I mean, to say that,
I love Cam Johnson. I like Cam Johnson a lot too.
He's not.
But what I'm saying, him and Quickly to me are in the same category. You're making it sound like Quickly is that much better than Cam Johnson. No, he's not.
Johnson's just a little bit more developed than Quickly right now.
Exactly.
I'm not comparing the two players. I'm comparing the two teams, coach.
But what I'm
the
getting
Knicks have a lot more around Jalen Brunson than the Nets have around Mikal Bridges.
I think each team is equal.
The Nets, I think, got some players. Yeah, I did. Dinwiddie's a good player. Dinwiddie is a good player. You might not think Dinwiddie's a good player.
You want to say Randall
and Claxton? Claxton's good.
You want to say
Claxton
because he was an all-star. I'll give you that. But if you were to take him out, these teams are even in terms of talent. I'm sorry. They are.
But we can't take nobody out.
But
we got to include
also Julius Randle, for everything he is as a quote unquote all-star, he is also a problem. He is also a problem why we also lose games. He contributes.
Coach, we're paying Ben Simmons $32 million. You
I'm
cannot argue.
We're talking talent. Let's not talk money. I don't want to talk money. That's
he has
BS.
Fournier. He has Fournier.
That's money. That's money and talent.
But no, you said the talent. You said talent. You can't talk money because because everybody's going to have a player like that on their squad. Everyone is.
But look, coach. Ben Simmons
making it sound like because when y'all had Kyrie
and KD, from him.
No, listen to me. When y'all had KD and Kyrie, we weren't even in the same stratosphere. Now all of a sudden you're pushing us that far ahead of you? No, bro, you can't have it that way. You can't kill me with that, man. That's BS. That's bogus.
You don't think the New York Knicks at this particular junction, KD and Kyrie are gone. I don't even want to talk about those guys.
No, but what I'm saying is you made it. The Nets were that much better than the Knicks at that point in time. Now you're making it seem like the Knicks are that much better.
I never said they were that much better. That was other guys' narratives. I was more confident in the Knicks than you were. So obviously,
Exactly.
I've been
Yes.
consistent with this thing. The team is
That I will
good,
give you. I'm not gonna sit here and say you haven't been
and
consistent.
to lose
And
for
yes,
us to lose KD and Kyrie Irving, yes, talent
but
wise,
you're
you guys
not
are
that.
better.
I'm not look, but you're a little bit better. I'm not going to play on the word. A little bit better, yes. Okay, I'll give you that. But what I'm getting at is it's the records are showing it. It's really not that far off. It's really
Yeah, and the
not.
only reason the records are showing that is because we had a head start on you guys when we did have KD and Kyrie. KD was balling. We
Take
got out
away
to
take
a
away
good
our
little
9 game
record.
winning streak. Take away
And
our
and
9
you
game
and,
winning
and
streak.
you guys are playing catch up now. So yes, the playing has evened out record wise, but talent wise, that's what we're talking about. You guys have more talent, and
We
Jalen
don't
Brunson
have
is.
that much more, only a little bit more. That's what I'm getting at.
I'm not saying it's like we're the Rockets, coach.
No, I'm not
Obviously not.
saying that. But what
But
I'm getting at, what I'm saying is the teams are more evenly matched than you are making it sound. The teams are
uh,
really that much more evenly matched. If we
you
played a seven
guys
game
beat us
series,
by what 40?
oh, okay, okay,
I mean, what
okay.
are
I
we
think
talking here?
if I can interject, I think the thing is, remember the Nets are still a team that are still learning how to play with one another on the
Exactly.
court, and that's
That's
the
true.
biggest difference.
That's
The
fair.
Nets
Yes.
are still developing
That's
that
fair.
chemistry, but I see where Coach is coming from because I actually agree with him. I think the Nets do have some talent on this team. I'm going to say it. Spencer Dinwiddie is a damn good quality point guard in
Yes.
this league. He's a lot better than people give
He's
him credit.
okay.
Oh, he's better than okay. He's better than okay. I think
Uh,
he's a borderline all-star, and I'm not afraid to say that. The dude, he's
uh,
averaging almost 20 points a game, and he's averaging about 6 assists. The
he
dude is
takes
a good
some
player.
terrible shots though.
But
Every
so
player
does
does.
I mean the Knicks do it
Come
too.
on,
The Knicks have
NYG,
guys
you
that
know
do it too.
basketball.
You
I
gotta give Dinwiddie
mean,
his credit, man.
Julius takes some bad shots from time to time.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Every player does.
Spencer's
Everybody.
I mean,
he struggled. He's been inconsistent.
can you
You,
agree?
I mean, I know we're saying this on a little 3 game win streak, but this team is not good, man. In my opinion, they're just not. And
Disagree
I'm
with
looking
you.
at the film; they can't shoot for one thing. They're very inconsistent, and I think it's Jeffy. What Jeffy's saying is good stuff, though. It is because they haven't had time to gel.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
right now, and I'm gonna go to Tommy's comment. Right now, the Knicks are just ahead.
Well,
And
yeah, they
trust
are.
me,
They are, but it's not that far ahead.
it is what it is. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's like night and day. Absolutely not. But Jalen Brunson and those guys have more talent, and of course, when you have more talent, And I'm trying to get back to my original point was Mikal Bridges is doing more because he doesn't have the talent around him.
Okay, we just have to agree to disagree because I don't agree with you on that. Sorry,
I
I
just think
don't.
that
To,
Bridges
to
is
say that
emerging as a good young
you're
player.
making it sound like Bridges is carrying the team, NYG. That's what it sounds like to me. That's really what
Nah,
you.
I'm
Yes,
not
it is.
saying that.
You're saying you just said he's doing more with less. So that's him carrying the team. That's
Nah,
what you say. That's what you just said, bro.
what the conversation was originally, right?
Hmm.
When you guys were comparing Bridges and
Brunson.
Brunson, and I was
Hmm.
saying that, you know, Bridges is actually doing more. I mean, I'm saying he should be. I'm saying if you put more talent around him, this team will be better. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Brunson is gonna get the nod right now, and you're
That's
saying that
that's
Brunson doesn't have the talent. You're saying the talent is equal. That makes
yes.
the players equal. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Mikal Bridges
Okay,
is
you just
actually
said if you
not
put more
doing it.
talent, you said if you put
He
more
could do
talent,
more
when you say
with
more
with better
talent, what
talent
type of
around him.
better talent? What better talent? What do you mean by better talent? Because
The,
right now I could say the same thing about Jalen Brunson. Okay, if you put better talent around him, then he's going to be better.
the guys I like on the Nets that I think they can make core pieces is Nick Claxton, um, Cam and Mikal, obviously. So
It's-
who else are we talking about? Are we talking about Dorian Finney-Smith? I know Jeffy likes Dinwiddie, but I mean he's all right.
Okay, then go to the Knicks and do the same damn thing.
Yeah, you
Other
got an
than
all-star
okay,
in
I gave you
Randall.
that. I gave you that. I gave
Okay.
you that.
You like I said, you got Quickly. If you
Quickly
want
is
to even
inconsistent. If you want to be brutally honest, he's inconsistent. Tonight's
so
is
is
a case
Cam
in point.
Thomas. And Cam Thomas doesn't even play.
Cam
Hardly.
Thomas is also younger than Quickly, so this is only his second year. That's he's still learning. To me, Quickly has been. This is what his fourth year, fifth year.
Okay, so what we saying?
So
And then you
you're
got
saying,
Grimes.
but Grimes is not consistent. I think Grimes
And
is
then you
averaging
got
what, nine
Barrett.
points.
And
Okay.
then you got
You know what? You
Brunson and
win.
Rand.
You
I mean, like
win. You win. I digress.
I'm naming all these guys, and
And I
the
don't
only
agree
guys that
with
you
you. I
can name
don't.
on the
Brunson is
Nets.
I'm not gonna say he's trash. Brunson is way too inconsistent, especially to be the money player that he is. You just sat there and talked about y'all literally compared him to Ben Simmons. You literally just compared him.
Compare
But
who?
now, Ben
Barrett.
Simmons and Barrett, y'all just literally compared
No,
them because of
I'm
salary.
saying the situations. I'm not saying the talent. I'm saying the situations because it
But
seems
Barrett
like
is
you guys don't want
inconsistent.
him. The
No,
talent is not. The
it's not
talent is.
that. It's not that they don't want him. For him to have the be paid the money that he is paid and get the
Well, that's
production
the
that you're
comparison,
getting.
coach. Now you going back to the conversation you knocked me for. We ain't
But
talking about
no, but
the money.
when what you
Talking
said,
about
no, you're talking about
the talent.
talent. But you sit here and just said you're trying to say that RJ Barron is talented, and I'm trying to tell you, in comparison to what you just said, no, he's not. No, he's not. Grimes is barely is. I don't think Grimes is averaging over is double digits.
RJ Barrett has talent, coach.
I didn't say he doesn't have talent. To be honest
I
with
hate to
you,
say
Simmons
so does
has
Ben
talent.
Simmons. Ben Simmons is
Simmons
talented
has
too.
talent. He just doesn't have offensive talent.
No, God no.
He doesn't have, but he can give you so much more. Dennis
That's a
Rodman,
part of the game.
Dennis Rodman, Dennis Rodman. You
We
cannot
can't
say
go. We
no,
can't
no, no,
go
no,
to
no, no,
Dennis
no, no.
Rodman,
'Cause no,
coach.
listen,
You
you're talking
cannot.
about
No,
no.
no,
You just
no,
sat
no,
there and
no.
said no off. Because your point you were going to with Simmons was offense, and I'm trying to say to you, you don't have to be an offensive player to be a contributor and to be talented in the NBA. Simmons
Absolutely.
Simmons has the talent to be an elite defender. When he first came in, he was that. He can play, he can be a facilitator, he can rebound, he can
But
do
he's
a lot
not.
of the but he's not. Okay, but he has the talent to do it, which is what I was just saying about RJ Barrett.
But RJ Barrett is actually giving you
No,
some
he's not.
semblance of something. Yes, he's had decent games this year.
Okay, yes,
He's
he has.
shown you something.
He's had
You see
decent
what I'm
games, and
saying?
I go back to what I just said. He's very inconsistent, and you're trying to put him
And
in
he's way
saying,
younger.
but he's not. He's for your point to say that
The guy's
just
what,
like with Brunson.
22?
Yes, he is.
Ben
He's
Simmons is,
I
I
22.
think,
mean,
26.
No, I thought Simmons was younger than that. No, no, you're
nah,
right. He is.
he's
He is. He is.
He
He is.
is
yeah, he's
26.
26, 27,
He'll be
which ain't
27
old.
later this
But
year.
my point is that RJ Barrett is just beginning. He still has room to grow. It seems like
RJ
Ben
Barrett's
Simmons
also been here. What?
is
This
just done. It seems like he's
RJ Barrett has
washed.
been here. What? This is his fourth year. So I mean, to RJ Barrett for everything that you're talking about talent, he's too inconsistent, and that's why I say. And you're trying to say that with Brunson, Brunson has better talent. No, he does. If you want to give me argue Julius Randle, we have one. Everything else, you take Julius Randle off the Knicks. They are not a good team. I'm sorry. So if you want to kill me with Julius, I'll eat that. But to make it seem like we have better talent than the Brooklyn Nets with everyone else, no, I'm sorry.
Man, do
I'm,
you
I'm
know
not.
how Do you know, man? Look,
If you take Julius Randle off the New
but you
York Knicks
can't
right now,
do that.
no, because you're killing me saying the talent. And I just gave you. I said, okay, with Julian, okay, we're a little bit better than you. My point being, because you're sitting here quickly. R.J. Barrett, you're sick. Grimes, you sat there and said that's the talent. Well, then guess what? If Julius Randle wasn't there, are the New York Knicks a better team than the Brooklyn Nets? Are they more talented based on what you're saying? No, they're not. No,
If
they're not.
Julius,
You can't get if you want to argue Julius is the reason why we're better, I'll give you that. But other than that, bro, no, sorry. I'm not accepting that.
The
You can't
Nets
give me
have
that.
pieces. The Nets have pieces on their team that you could say could even it out as time goes because I actually think Thomas and Quickly both are like the same type of player. Though I think Quickly is obviously a little bit more advanced offensively and
Hmm.
especially defensively. Thomas, I just think that the rest of Thomas's game is so incomplete. That's why they can't play him because he just can't do anything defensively and he's not good at facilitating the ball. So that's probably why he's out of the rotation or not really playing much. But Bridges is emerged like Brunson is doing with the Knicks this year
I
since the
think
Nets and Bridges was playing really well
Hmm.
this year with the Suns before he got traded. You didn't see it as much because he had Booker and he had
here comes
Aiton.
Breezy. They about to get me
So
now. All right,
so
come on,
Bridge. Well,
man.
no, I'm just saying
I'm with it.
Bridges is emerging as a young superstar player, and it's not been happening just with the Nets. He was doing that with the Suns, and remember, this kid is an elite defensive player, and now this kid is. Every single night, I'm looking at him. The kid's averaging like 30 points every night. His offensive game is now starting to come together. Cam Johnson, this kid can light it up from the 3-point line. He's inconsistent at times, and he
Hmm.
sometimes gets in foul trouble. But Johnson's a good offensive player. Claxton, honestly, coach, I love Mitchell Robinson, but I'm taking Claxton any day of the week over Mitchell Robinson because Claxton's getting an offensive game now, and this dude is becoming a defensive player of the year. I mean, as much as we crap on Joe Harris or Seth Curry or these guys, even Royce O'Neal, you know what? They can still shoot the ball at a decent rate off the bench. Now, they're not going to do it consistently, but they can still put the ball in the bucket. And even though we all crapped on Dorian Finney-Smith, he hasn't been that great the past couple of nights. Guess what? If it wasn't for Dorian Finney-Smith, we're not beating Boston on a couple of nights ago. So Finney-Smith, he does his job at the power forward position. So the Knicks right now are a little bit
uh,
more ahead, yes, but I can't say they're that much ahead of the Nets. The Nets
Hmm.
are not that far off from the Knicks. They got players. They just, have to come together more as a squad. The Knicks have played together as a team pretty much all season. The Nets have played like what, 7, 8 games as a squad? It takes time for these guys to play with one another as a team.
Hmm.
What up, Breezy?
What's up, Breezy?
Breezy, what's good with you, man?
Chilling, man. Good to be back, man. What's up? Good to be back, man. What's up, Coach? What up, Jeff? What up, NYG 22?
What's
What up,
up,
man?
bro? Man, do your thing, man. I'm gonna give you the floor, but I want to say one thing real quick.
Yeah.
Um, I think we I think we gotta be careful when we talking about this team. And I do agree they do need to gel, and
Hmm.
Bridges is good,
Hmm.
obviously. But I think we're a little high off the Boston win because this is the same team that got smoked by the Knicks twice, got smoked by Chicago, got beat up by Miami, lost a heartbreaker to Atlanta, and then turn around and beat Charlotte and Houston, two bottom feeder teams. So outside of that that Boston
Who the
win,
Knicks,
which
the
which
Charlotte team, who the Knicks couldn't even
hold
beat
up,
at home.
hold up, coach. Outside of that Boston win, which the Boston Celtics just collapsed, you know what I'm saying? This team hasn't really done anything to impress me. So that's why I'm saying I'm not there with you guys. And this is cool and this is good, man, because the way you guys sometimes feel about the Giants, this is how I feel about the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not seeing it. I don't think this team is that great. But I do think they can build on what they have,
Hmm.
but they gotta stay patient. Now with the Knicks, coach just put it up there, number one in the power rankings. So
Come on, man.
it's
That's
not just
what did I
me.
just say? What did I just
It's
say? That's bogus. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. That's not fair because we all know that's BS.
but
They
hey,
won
I
nine
No,
in a
was
row.
the
that's
That's
I
BS.
why.
was the
That's
to be fair,
I'm
I
done.
was
I'm done.
higher
I'm not
on
even
the
speaking
Knicks
about it. Go
than
ahead.
anybody on this panel. I was
Yeah,
higher
you
on the
were.
Knicks than anybody on this panel, and they're right there. You know what I'm saying? This was a bad loss. I'm not gonna lie to you, but like you said, they didn't have Jalen Brunson.
Mm-mm.
You know, I just think to be for real, I'm not pumping up this Brooklyn Nets team.
And I'm not pumping up the Knicks.
I'm just not
I'm
gonna
not
do
bumping
it.
up the Nets either. I'm just saying that they're not as
The
bad
both teams
than
are
people think.
exactly.
I think they're a mid.
They're a
I think
lot
where they're exactly
closer.
where they are. They're a fifth,
Right.
sixth,
Exactly.
seventh
I
seed.
don't think they're bad either. I
And
said
I
they were
think
gonna make the
The Knicks
playoffs.
and the Nets are right where they both should be. I said that, and I said they're a lot closer than. And then you're making it seem like we're that much better than you guys, and I'm like, no, we're not.
I was relating that to the Jalen Brunson argument because you was acting like that the Nets had that Mikal Bridges had more talent to work with than Jalen Brunson, and
No,
that was the point I
that's
was
not.
arguing with.
No. I'm saying both teams are evenly matched.
Mm-mm.
See that
Not
every
talent
time.
wise. Not
Okay,
talent wise.
okay,
I
whatever.
disagree. I think you guys
Let's
got
agree
more
to
talent.
disagree. We'll
Okay,
both
get
agree
in
to
there,
disagree.
Breezy. Get
We'll
in there.
agree to
What's your
disagree.
thoughts? I know where you going, Lean, but what's your what's your
Um,
thoughts?
I'm coming straight to the coach after this because I disagree with Jack Vaughn in his whole the way he started it. I felt like, and he seconded, he kind of backed up what I'm about to say. What I disagree with, he put these guys, these new players, the additions to the Brooklyn Nets, the four players. He put them in the starting lineup because and gave them heavy minutes because he said he need them to have chemistry going into the playoffs. Now, when they first got here, I disagree with that because I said, yo, look at the guys that put in the pain that when Katie and Kyrie wasn't there, why you not playing them? But to his point, now I agree. But when he was doing it, I disagree with it the entire time. Um, and we lost games because of it. We lost games, but like you said, we took some bad losses and we took some tough losses. We took a tough loss to Philly. Um, we took a tough loss to I think another team. We took like two tough losses, and some games it was out of reach. And I think he rather, as a coach, have that in the beginning, trying to gel in the big, when they're assembling the roster now, opposed to uh, a few games, maybe 5 games closer to the postseason. I think he's banking on the chemistry that Dinwiddie has with Claxton and Joe Harris. And in my opinion, Joe Harris been playing great basketball since Dinwiddie been next to him. I don't I don't know what that contributes to, but I heard the announcer say he's shooting 27 for 47 since in the last nine games. So
Yeah.
he's shooting like a 50% clip, and I do contribute some of that to Spencer being on his side and looking for him. Joe Harris is I think he's a comfort guy. I think he's comfortable with Spencer on a court. But I don't think I think we're a solid team. I don't think we're a bad team. And I think we're between a solid and a good team. And I think we get better with chemistry going to the playoffs because the advantage we got is Spencer played with Doe or Finney Smith. CJ, Cam Johnson played with Mikal Bridges. Sarah Cousteau called him Midi Mikal. Yeah, that's for Nets fans. I don't know the Knicks fans okay about that, but they call him Midi Mikal now because he got the midi. Again, Mikal, he brings the mid range, and as much as I don't like the three ball, and I still don't, as much as we take it, but we've been lighting it up, and that's a big contribution to Royce and Joey. Cam Johnson, he's a
And
streaky
Seth
shooter.
too.
Yeah, Seth too. Cam Johnson, he's streaky to me. Sometimes he'll knock it down, sometimes he won't, but he plays hard. Excuse me. And he gets steals. He's not a guy that you necessarily see get blocks, but I do see a lot of deflections. I feel like with this bigger lineup, we get a lot of 50-50 balls. We get a lot of deflections. Nick Claxton is still playing great basketball. And Nerlens Noel was a great pickup. I thought he played valuable minutes tonight. And I like what they did with the roster. As much as I like Cam Thomas, I could see why they went big. We don't have a small lineup in our 6-7 man rotation. We I forget our height, but we a big team. We a tall team and we a big team. And I think Seth Curry is in front of Cam Thomas just off playoff experience. Seth Curry, he showed up in that Philly series. I think he was scoring like 30 plus that series. They lost that series, but he played great basketball in the playoffs. So I got my pros and cons with it, but ultimately, I'm a fan of the team, not the players. And I like the direction we going in. And I'll go as far as to say that 1 and 2 is out of reach for the Brooklyn Nets going into the postseason. I think 3 is optimistic. I think 4 is in our reach, and 5 we definitely could get. I don't know if we stay at 6. I know we can't based on what we do on the Knicks or Miami. I think they're going to continue to win games. I'm surprised that the Knicks lost, even with Brunson not being there. I thought they would take care of the Hornets. Definitely going to troll them to this Saturday on the show. I can't believe they lost to the Hornets. We just beat them up, and they lost to the Hornets. I'm but that's good for us because I don't think that I don't know if the Knicks. I think the Knicks. I think us and the Knicks we toggle between 4, 5, and 6. I won't say who's going to have if the Knicks or the Nets who's going to get the 3rd spot, but I don't think it's out of our reach. But I really feel confident in the 4th and 5th spot. I do not think that we stay at 6 going into the playoffs. And yeah, I'm a ride with Jacques Vaughn. I disagree with him in the beginning, but I like his coaching style as much as I disagree with some of the stuff. I don't agree with 100% of the stuff, and this is what I'm saying. I'm going over to the coach. I'm asking you, coach. In these in post All-Star break, right?
Mhm.
As far as chemistry and cohesiveness, we know that the better teams are gonna, succeed in that. Do you see the Knicks and the Nets get into the 3rd and 4th spot, or the 4th and 5th spot, or do you think we stay at 6 and 5?
To be honest with you, I think we both stay right in the 5th and 6th spots. Will we flip positions? There is that possibility, but I think we're going to stay right where we are. Miami does have the opportunity, but I think that we're going to split with them over these last 2 games, which is why we'll end up with the season series. But we just went over the Knicks rest of the games, and
I'll give you
it,
the
it
Nets in a little bit too
yeah,
when you're done, Coach.
the Knicks are, they said we have an easy schedule, and I'm like, no, we don't. We have a tough schedule. I mean, we're playing 4 on the West Coast, and then come back and face Denver and Minneapolis in New York. That's
Hmm.
tough in itself, right there. And because we're going out to Sacramento now off of this loss. So when we play Sacramento, both LA's and Portland, then come back for Denver and Minneapolis. So that's tough right there in itself. And we have two with Miami. What was the rest of the schedule? We have 2 with Miami. I know we have, what is it, Orlando. Well, hell, we just lost to Charlotte, so I can't even say that's easy anymore. Yeah, Orlando, Houston, Miami, Cleveland, Washington, Indiana, at New Orleans, and then Indiana. So it's not going to be easy. So the possibility for us to end up in the 6th spot is there. Dare I say, we could even end up in the 8th spot. I mean, based on the way I'm looking at this schedule. Now,
I
do
can
I
say the same
expect
thing
us
about
to?
us too.
Yeah. Do I expect us to? No. Do I expect us to get some good wins out of this record? Yes. Do I think when Brunson comes back, he's going to help stabilize us a little bit more? Yes. Especially going on that West Coast. I hope he plays, and it'll definitely help us out a lot. But I could see us stay right where we are, and I could see us flip positions with you guys. So Cleveland, that's a big hope for me. That's a big hope for me. Because if we're in the 5th spot when we play them in the playoffs, it's going to be tough. And to lose to Cleveland, especially with Donovan Mitchell, it's going to intensify it even worse. It's going to make it even worse. But that's playoff. But to your point, Greasy, I think we're pretty much going to stay within the 4 or 5 spots. If we switch, I could see us in the sixth spot, honestly.
Well, for the Nets, this next 9 game stretch is going to tell where they're going this year or the rest of the season because they got Milwaukee on Thursday, and then right after that they have Minnesota, both of them out away on Friday. Then on Sunday they play the Nuggets, the best team in the NBA, in Denver, followed by a game on Tuesday, March 14th against Oklahoma City. Then they come back home against Sacramento on March 16th, followed by another game on March 19th against Denver. Back-to-back games against Cleveland at Barclays Center, March 21st and March 23rd. Then they play against the Miami Heat at Miami. That 9 game stretch is going to be critical on where the Nets are going to go this year. Then they have Orlando the night after in Orlando, followed by the Houston Rockets at home at Barclays Center on March 29th. Then they play against the Atlanta Hawks. That's a game they need to win because Atlanta's right behind them. They jumped Miami. So Atlanta on March 31st on Friday. Then they got Utah on April 2nd. Then they got Minnesota at Barclays Center on April 4th. Then they verse Detroit at Detroit. That's a game the Nets should win. Followed by Orlando at home, and then they finish it up with Philadelphia. Philadelphia's been a problem for us too. That's at Barclays Center. So that 9 game stretch from Milwaukee on March 9th all the way down to Miami on March 25th, in my opinion, that is where we're going to find out where this Nets team is going to be. Because I can easily see the Nets losing 6 of those games. Easily. Because those are tough teams. Even teams like Oklahoma City, who they handled us the last time we played them. That's not going to be easy. So, to me, that is where the Nets season is going to be defined. This next 9 game stretch on how they do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to a couple of Tommy comments here. He says, "Cam Bridges had plenty of talent, no defense or discipline to elevate to a consistent game just yet, and the team needs time to gel, and those players will be elevating the game." Yeah, I agree, man, and that's what I've been saying. They're just not there yet, and it's just what I'm seeing is a lot of these pieces. We talked about Seth Curry and some of these other guys, man, that they're probably gonna move off for. I just don't think talent wise, I think it's not a big gap, but I just think the Knicks have more talent, and that's all I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to make it like, oh, this team is so much better than the Nets.
You're
Obviously, they're
right. You
not.
are right on that.
You
They
know what I'm
are
saying?
a
They
little more
just
talented.
they have more talent. They have more pieces. We can go up and down the roster all day, and you can't tell me that the Knicks don't have more pieces and more quality guys than the Nets do. It's just a fact. Um, it's not a fact, it's my opinion. So let me back off that. But because Coach has a right to his opinion too. And if he doesn't believe it, then that's fine. The Nets don't have enough size to go into a
That is
playoff run
true. That is true. We
again.
don't. We don't.
Exactly. We have Claxton, and that's it. Coach was just saying they got Hartenstein.
They got
They have
Nerlens Noel. They signed recently the Nets. So, but
come on.
he's just a guy you're going to throw in there to give
Yeah,
Claxton a spell,
right.
and he's better than Day'Ron Sharp. But yeah, no, I agree. We don't have size.
Yeah. And he says here, Knicks need to play Hartenstein more. He gives them great minutes, very productive. Surprised he doesn't play more. Yeah, I mean, coach can speak on that. Because well, let me put it back up there. Coach can speak on that. Because I know you're big on Hartenstein. I know you've been a big fan of him. I know you're more of a fan of Jericho Sims, but I guess like you said, he's kind of buried on the depth chart right now. But what is it? What is it you seeing from Hartenstein and I guess Tommy is seeing something too. What are you guys seeing from Hartenstein? Um, that that you like or that you think he brings to the team?
He's the trash can man. I mean, he has a nice little when he gets into the lane, a push shot that seems to be pretty effective. I know they talked about his 3-point shooting at the beginning of the season. He's not consistent with it, but hey, that's one thing he has over Mitchell Robinson. But he's a trash can man. He's a glue guy, however you want to consider it. He does a lot of the dirty work that you look for from a lot of the guys. He can rebound. He does a lot of tip rebounds. It pushes out. Um, I mean, he does get a lot of over the back fouls, but that's him giving that effort. So um, I can appreciate that. At the beginning of the season, I did like him over Mitchell because I had my issues with Mitchell, but Mitchell seems to be rounding into being the better. He's definitely the better player. He plays very well in the pick. Well, they both do well in the pick and roll, but Mitchell is a little bit better because he can catch the lobs from them. Hartenstein can't. He's not that athletic, but um, Hartenstein does have a good mid-range jump shot in comparison to Mitchell. So, those are some of the things that I like about him. He'll set the screens, he'll take the charges. They both will, but I mean, Hartenstein, he's dirty, he's grimy, however you want to consider it. I just call them trash can players. So that's what it is with him.
Okay. I mean, that's fair, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
The trash can man,
Mhm.
Hartenstein man, but let me see. He says he has great rebounding. He definitely gets production in the minutes he plays. Yeah, I agree, man. Most definitely. All right, let me see something real quick.
Definitely like this Memphis LA game.
Better.
LA is definitely playing a lot better now.
The Lakers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
the
saying
Lakers reshaped their team, and they seem
but
like they're.
I'm
I'm
talking
sorry.
about with LeBron out, they've been playing a lot better.
No surprise.
No, it's Anthony
Oh
Davis. He's
man.
stepping up. He's definitely stepping up. He's carrying
Oh
that team.
shit.
Ah, shit! There goes my leg. Ah, damn! I
No, he
got
did
pissed
it
today.
again. He got poked in the eye or something, man. And he
He's like,
Yeah,
did he did this
ah,
he did the
damn my
shit.
eye.
Shit. He did it again. This guy,
Somebody
yeah.
man,
give
made
me an
a
eye patch.
this guy is
So
oh man, yo, this is funny, man. But man, just wrapping up the basketball conversation, man. We
Love
can
it.
move it any direction you guys want to move it into now, man. It's the freestyle
well, I'll
portion.
give you I'll give
I'm
you
gonna
my big
go.
board.
I'm gonna go about 15 more minutes, and then I gotta wrap it up. But coach, I know you wanted to share some earlier.
I was giving you my big board. I mean,
The
if
big boy. Let's do it.
you want me to share it or you just want me to read it, what do you want?
Nah, share it. Let's
Go
see
ahead,
it.
share it, coach.
It's just a word doc. That's all it is.
It's all right.
It's all
So
good.
all good in the neighborhood.
That's right.
You damn right.
Let me know when you get it.
You got it.
This is my big board. I got Jalen Carter number one. I
Jalen
understand he's
Brunson.
going no,
I know, no,
because he's
no,
in
I
my
know.
head.
Yeah.
No, I know. But yeah, I mean, you could say, damn it, I spelled it wrong. I hate that. Um, you could say what you want about his legal issues. I mean, I'm talking about pure talent. When you look at the talent, that kid is definitely it when he plays that defensive line. Number two is Will Anderson from Alabama, elite pass rusher, especially coming off the edge. He can set the edge with the run. And this is all post combine. This is the reason why I have it grouped this way. CJ Stroud for me is the top quarterback. He already solidified himself in my eyes. Um, Devin Witherspoon, I've watched this kid for a while at Illinois. So I always knew he was good. And I'm sorry, Witherspoon. Yeah. If you really go watch him, pull up his film, take a look at him, you'll understand. Tyree Wilson is another edge rusher. Now he does need to fine tune setting the edge in the run game from Wilson from Texas Tech, but he's definitely good. I like Will Levis. After the combine, he definitely showed me something, especially the pop off of his ball, the ball, how it pops off of his out of his hands. Now he does have to refine some things, but he was definitely accurate in the mid range. Bryce Young, um, because he did not throw. That's why I have him this low because of his height and his weight. You can say what you want. He was over 200 pounds, but that's somebody who drank a lot of fluids, ate to gain the weight so he could get weighed, and then he did not go perform because he knew that he wasn't at his best. So now he's going to go knock his weight off. So when they come to Alabama for his pro day, he can produce a little bit better. Pete Skoronski is the best offensive lineman, period. He can play inside, outside. He can play forward. Other than center, he can play all four offensive line position. Paris Johnson is a dancing teddy bear at the left tackle spot. Christian Gonzalez performed very well at the combine, a lot better than I thought. So that's why he's in my top 10. Kalijah Cansey, I know some will say he should be higher. And you can make that strong argument, and I did debate myself with it, but I was just like, how far up do I want to push him, and who am I going to pull out? But the kid is good. I know the comparison is to Donald because they both went to Pitt. They're both the same, literally the same size, same makeup, but I'm waiting to see a little bit more. Y'all already heard me talk about Banks. I just love the kid.
Mhm.
I hope he's lower, but I don't think he's going to be there. Brian Brisset from Clemson, he's had a rough road, but his talent shown it shined at the combine for me. So um, uh, I'm sorry, Lucas Van Ness. It's not Ed. It's Lucas Van Ness. He's an edge defender from Iowa. He definitely showed me something. I wasn't expecting as much as I did from him. But then again, playing at Iowa, those defenders are fundamentally sound. This is where you see the first wide receiver, Quentin Johnson. He's in the top 15. His size, he does have fluidity. He does have to develop his route running. He has decent hands, just not consistent. Miles Murphy is another edge. Now, if you want to say he should be higher up, I can understand that. He definitely has that ability, but it's also a numbers game with how I have things ranked. But he definitely has good talent, especially coming off the edge. Nolan Smith is another one from Georgia, outside linebacker, edge player. He can do so many things. He's versatile, so he's definitely a good player. Anton Harris from Oklahoma, another offensive tackle, definitely good. I can even see him going a little bit higher. Joey Porter Jr. I know most people will have him in the top 10. Um, I just was not overly impressed with his 40 time is where I'm hurting him the most. I thought he was going to be in the 4.3s to the 4.4s. And then at 20, this is a tie. It's really a legitimate tie for me. Anthony Richardson, um, I've been iffy on him. I can understand if he goes in the second round. I'm not putting him. I've seen publications that rank him as the number one quarterback off the board. He has the talent. He honestly, if his passing is developed, I honestly think he could end up being the best player out of this draft. He's that good athletically and with his deep ball. There's no denying that. But his passes in the combine, he was selling a lot of passes. And I understand you're not familiar with the receivers, but there is, you know what? You just miss him a little bit, you know, miss him to the outside a little bit over. He was literally legitimately sailing certain passes. So that's why I'm dinging him and dropping him down. Robinson, some will have him lower. I just felt he was the best running back of the group. And the running backs, I'm telling you, those running backs showed out for me. The running backs were better than I really expected, and we diminished the running back grouping, but there's a lot of running backs that you know what I can even see them go in the second round. Some of them, if you told me two or three of them would definitely go there, it wouldn't surprise me. And Say Flowers is the number two receiver on my board. I mean, the kid was just amazing. He did, just does about everything. I just love the kid. So that's pretty much my big board 1 through 20 right now. So I want to kill it. Go ahead, kill it. Say what you want.
Well, Tommy says that board is crazy, coach. Definitely those QBs are
Yes,
gonna get
yes,
snatched up early.
yes,
Someone trading
yes,
up for them sure to get
yes, yes. I agree with you. The quarterbacks and the offensive linemen. See, that's the thing. Yes, people are going to make trades and move up to grab the quarterbacks, but this is just how I rank them and how I see them in terms of not where they're
Oof.
going in terms of talent. But
Mhm.
it's going to trade. If you told me all four quarterbacks went 1 through 4, and then next three offensive
Think you're
linemen went,
crazy.
I could see that. Or if you wanted to see a couple of or said a couple of defenders and then some offensive linemen, I could see that also. It's going to push some of those players down, but that's how I see it in terms of my ranking. In terms of the talent, not where they're going to be drafted. So please don't think that's what I'm saying.
Talk to me a little bit about Nolan Smith, and then I
Mhm.
want to let Jeffrey go ahead give his thoughts on it.
Nolan Smith is an out. He can play outside linebacker, edge. He's a lot better than most people will give him credit for. Let me see if I can pull him up for you guys too. He's about 6'2", 240, somewhere in that range. Um, he's played all over the place when they had those other guys down there at. He's not on this. Do they have him at edge? When they had all their guys down there, yeah, they have them at edge. Here we go. When they had all those guys, when they won their first national championship, he was, I don't want to say he was an afterthought, but he was like the third linebacker out of the grouping, but he was talented. And this past year, he proved that he has the talent to play and be out there and make plays. So he's athletic. He can drop into coverage on occasion. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a lockdown defender as a pass rusher, but he's good. He's good enough to make the plays. So let me pull up the play. Let me pull up. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna share some film for you, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. You're gonna see his talent. Share. Let me know when you get it, bro.
Yeah, I got it. There you go.
Okay. And Nolan Smith. Here we go. Okay, here we are. There's the arrow. Nolan Smith. He's going to be staying with on the tight end. So play. So you're going to see. Look at his athleticism. He's right in the hip. Now the tight
Oh
end did
wow,
get a little separation, but he was right there with him initially. So tight end has a little inside leverage. He's still right on him. Got juked a little bit, and that allowed the tight end to get separation. But now look at him. He's with his hand in the ground, and he's going up against a big defender. I
wow.
mean, offensive guy. And like I said, he can play it as an outside linebacker or his hand in the ground. And you see his athleticism, his
Hmm.
ability to move. So what he does, look how he sets the edge.
I like
Once
that.
the
I was
guy
just ready to say set the edge really good there.
Exactly, and he played with good leverage. Got the offensive tackle, didn't let him watch him. So you see his ability and what he can do right there. Look at what he did.
Hmm.
I'm going to take that back for you just so you can see. Most people don't pick that up because you don't understand. They don't understand that. Now he's getting what is some people call a wham. However, sorry. Um, he did not let because when they come to block him, they're trying to get it up inside, and he was not what I call he spilled, which is forced it to go outside. but he played that block perfectly. See what he did? Boom,
Mm,
and he sent it right to his help, which is exactly what you're supposed to do.
yep.
And you see how the other
Mm,
blocker went up inside, and he forced it because now he spilled it because he caused a pile up there. So it comes off the block
yeah, I like how he comes off blocks. That's the
exactly,
second, third time I seen him do that in this film.
and this is
How's
why. Go ahead, go
how's
ahead,
this
Jeffrey.
comparison from his teammate Jalen Carter?
Well, Jalen Carter is inside, so you can't
D
compare the
line,
two.
yeah. This
Yeah,
is a linebacker. He'll
this
be
is an
the
outside linebacker.
outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me see if we can get one
He's
more.
a
I'm gonna
he's
give
an
you one more.
inside lineman, yet he's
Yeah, no,
sometimes
he's
projected
a
to be a
he.
top. Joe Jalen Carter, because he's
Yes,
projected he could be the top defensive lineman coming out
exactly.
this year.
Carter's not in on this defense. I was looking for him. He's number 88.
Okay.
And there is that Ringo. I think that's Ringo.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, get the hand out the way, please.
God damn it. Uh,
Okay, so again, he stays maintains outside leverage, man. Doesn't let an offensive tackle get to his outside shoulder because that's what that
Yo, we
offensive
need
tackle.
that, man. We need that. We need somebody that can set that edge and help in the run game like that.
yeah, we didn't have that last year. Too
And
many
See what
times
I'm
they got caught
saying?
up.
look at exactly what he just did here. He played this perfectly. Let me get just a little bit more. Yeah, hi. Okay, so watch what
See
he
if you
does.
could
They
slow
blocked the
it
wing.
down
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Here,
on your
you're right.
screen, coach. That
You're
way we
right.
could
You're
see
right.
it. There you go.
I keep forgetting about that. I'm so because I can do it. I can pick it up quickly. Okay, so here we go. Now watch how they block away. He takes what is his two-step read. He's going to take a couple of steps. Boom, stop. See the
Mm,
play. Now he comes back all by himself and makes the tackle.
Good
excellent.
That's
instinctive play.
beautiful.
Yep.
This
Now
is
we get a
Discipline.
better look from the other angle. Mm, stays right there with it.
exactly, and he was in position to go after the back if the back kept the ball.
And
Hmm.
with coaching, yeah, with coaching, he'll get better at reading that, I believe. And
Hmm.
that's what we're gonna need to stop the guys like Jalen Hurts in our division.
And see, let's go back on this. Take another.
Wink Martindale would have a field day with this
Yeah,
Watch,
kid.
man.
watch what he does on this offensive tackle. 1-2 inside,
Oh
boom.
my
Oh, nice move,
God.
nice initial step right through.
Whoa.
This is why this is why y'all want more on this kid. Y'all want us to watch
Yeah, keep
more?
going.
Okay. This is why I have a good
Look at
feeling
that
about this kid.
move.
Exactly.
That's sick.
And
He had him
he's
and
and
Jalen Carter on the same side.
exactly.
But that's gonna be Dexter Lawrence, so we good there.
Yeah. Or Leo, either one of them.
Right.
So now you have an overload to this side. So what does the offense do? Doesn't need to do anything. Just squeeze down, help it fill in the play.
He doesn't over pursue. I
No,
love it.
he's fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He read the quarterback, was there, saw the back, boom. Similar to the other play.
I'm just
Yeah,
watching. I'm watching Jalen Carter too, and the
yeah,
dude's been like triple
yeah,
teamed every time. So I'm like, I'm watching both of them just for the hell of
exactly.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to
Both of
compare
them.
Carter a lot to like what Davis and Wyatt were last year for the Georgia. So
And there he is, and he's in a spy technique. If you didn't know, let me pull this out of the way. I'm
Just
gonna pull
hit
it back
high,
up.
coach. Hit the high button from this. Yeah, there
But
you
I
go.
don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it too. Okay, so here he's over here. Boom,
let's
boom.
see.
That's a spy technique. So he's watching the back to the quarterback. So he's in perfect position, and he's getting downfield to help get into the play.
It's a quick little guy.
Hmm. So I'm not the only one who's spoken about him in this regard. So it's like okay, because I just wanted to make sure that what I see is
Hmm.
Another Trayvon Walker. That's what it reminds me of.
Now,
He's
is
a little
this a
bit more
guy
athletic.
that you think would be there? Because just going back to your big boy, I think you had him ranked um 17th or 18th or something like that. Do you
Could
think he might?
depending
Do
on what
you think
happens
he
up
might be a guy? Right. That's what I'm getting at,
depending
Coach.
on what happens up top, yes. There is a possibility he could be there. Yes. Do I think so? Honestly, I don't know. Look how he's fighting that offensive tackle. I
See that
mean,
Jalen Carter, his teammate, I think that changes things because wow,
he's not getting
right.
blown off. He plays with great leverage and great hand placement, and you saw how he was getting after. He's a strong son of a gun. So yes, does he need some refinement? Yes. He's reading. Okay, so it's
Hmm.
not
It's
there.
not on
Okay,
his
went away
side.
from him.
Okay, cool. The
Okay,
other
so
side's got to do their job,
exactly,
and that's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau.
exactly. So similar front. This is almost there. It is. Boom, went away. That front side just needed to play that better.
Yeah, not on
Okay,
him.
this is going to be the last one. And see what he did? He
Hmm.
occupied the tackle so the cornerback could come off the edge. So we'll bring that back just a little bit more. A little bit too much. Sorry.
Could let it play.
Yeah, I'm just letting it play right now. So we get to it. So he's right here. Watch how he attacks inside, forces this offensive lineman to stay inside. The cornerback is coming off that edge.
Mm.
So
Okay. Mm.
and he forced the quarterback had to get rid of it quickly. That's what you want in that defensive scheme. But he did exactly what he was supposed to do to occupy this, to eat this gap up,
Yeah, he
and there
goes
it is.
inside. Yep, it
Yes.
forces. Yeah, it forces that tackle to play
Hmm.
inside, which allows the cornerback to come off the edge. I see exactly what they did there. That's good
Okay.
shit, man.
How do
Good
I
stuff,
get?
Coach.
How do we close this out now?
I could just remove it. You good?
Okay. So that's why, yeah, I have him. Where did I? Oh, you asked where I had him. I had him 17. Yeah. So, um, could he drop? Yes. Yes. I mean, now, do others have their board different than mine? More than likely, yes. Others are not going to be as high as I am on certain players. They're going to say, "Oh, what is he looking at?" And that's fine. But I like what I saw in Nolan Smith, and like I said, Miles Murphy. The edge rushers in this class, are pretty good, and they're going to do things. And who falls in love with who, you know, it's going to be interesting. So
I want
Yeah,
another edge
man.
rusher. I want
I
another
do
edge
too,
rusher.
man. I really do. I'm just not sold on just having KT and Ojolari. Like I want another guy. I want us to have a dominating defensive line. Even if Ojolari pans out, that's a good problem to have, as they would say. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? And if he doesn't pan out, then you got two bookend um edge rushers regardless. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
hmm
saying? And this is a guy, as you seen, as I seen just now, that can stop the run as well. As well as rush the passer. And he can only get better. So to me, that's a win-win situation. If we can go into the draft and really go BPA regardless of position, because even if you go in D line, Cansey, um,
hmm
I like
hmm
that. I like that kid, man. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? And I know he's
hmm
probably gonna shoot up draft boards now, but he wasn't before the combine. People were sleeping on him. This guy's gonna be
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I could, man, we could take a look at him too if you want.
So
No,
that's
you
what
said
I'm
you're going to
saying.
close out, so I'm not going to do it now. Sorry, no, because you know me,
Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna
get caught up
close
in
out
this.
because yeah, I'm tired to be honest with you.
No problem,
And
bro. I understand.
I'm doing a lot right now. But um yeah, ain't too many people in the chat. But yeah, we'll wrap it up. We'll make this one short. Um I want to try to do another stream um just on the football stuff, man. But it's been difficult. So but I'll talk to you guys in the back chat for a minute. But we're gonna close out tonight. Um and I just want to say, man, look, man, this is Heart of the City. New Yorkers, be happy. If you're a fan of a New York team right now, even the Jets, you know what I'm saying, have promise. We didn't talk about the Rangers and the Devils, who are both in the Stanley Cup race right now, and the Islanders are fighting, you know. NBA, we just talked about the Knicks and the Nets and how both of those teams are gonna be in it to win it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one more than the other, but that's debatable. But both teams are good right now. They're not
Hmm.
bad. So, and then of course, you know how I feel about the Giants. I mean, this is a win on all levels with these deals getting done and the Giants going into free agency without a headache. Like,
Hmm.
basically, they can just do their thing. Joe Shane can just GM and not have to worry about all this pressure and all this stress about these contracts and all that. So that's one thing that's good news. And then even with the Jets, like I said, look, you don't get Lamar Jackson. I mean, you don't get Aaron Rodgers, which I hope you don't do. Just go get Lamar. Just go get Lamar Jackson, man, and let's get it popping. Let's see a Jets
Hmm.
Giants Super Bowl in a year or two. Like, I'm serious. I might sound crazy now, man, but yeah, I record these things. We're gonna come back to this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I'm saving
Hmm.
receipts.
Hmm.
So because despite my unpopular opinions, I've been right about a lot of things, and so has Coach, and so has Jeffy T. And I will repeat those things. And these guys, like Coach said, they have their own show. Please go sub to Jeffy T, 85, and Coach Ed, Amazing World of Sports. But yeah, man, that's all I got, man. That's all I got for tonight, man. Appreciate you, Levance. Says thanks again. Thanks again, everything, gentlemen. Much appreciation. God bless you all, man. You
Thank
too,
you.
bro.
Yeah,
God
Hope you
bless
bro.
enjoyed
you
your
too,
Always.
meatloaf.
man. Yeah, man.
Hmm.
This is meatloaf, man. Tommy talking about the linebackers, man. We agree, man. Much love
Hmm.
to Tommy for one, Tommy, man. My main man, big fan, Breezy, always in the building, man. Loyal supporter, man. That's my bro. Please go sub to his channel as well. Um, and we got booking tackles. You know what I'm saying? Also a supporter of the show, my man Wells. Also a
Hmm.
supporter of the show, man. Definitely appreciate you, bro. The big blue crew, we in the building. Big blue in the Bronx. My main man Alex, man. Go sub to him and his brother Luca, man. Excellent content creators, man. Uh, no Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Also a loyal supporter, man. Almighty Finesse, salute to you, bro. Koof, man, salute to you, bro. Who else we got? Who else we got? Who else we got? My man Taj, salute. Um, and yeah, man, we lit, man. We lit up in here, man. Raphael, appreciate you, man, for popping in. Anybody else listening? And of course, last but not least, Miss Nisi Wise, wifey, man, in the building, always supporting. So, yeah, man, that's all we got for the night, man. But we're gonna wrap it up, fellas, man. appreciate all y'all, man. Y'all can give y'all last words, man, and then we're gonna close out.
Nah, I mean, it's just, we covered it all today, basically, for the most part, man. I mean, the biggest thing for me is just, look, Giants Nation, man, seriously. We just chill and let's rock with our team, man. Whoever's here for our team, let's just rock for them. All this hate just has to chill for me. So, but that's about it. New York sports is still on the rise. I'm rocking with it. So.
Yeah, and I mean, before you know it, we'll be hearing the baseballs cracking off the bat, and we'll be getting ready for some New York Yankees and New York Mets baseball. It's just coming right around the corner. So if you're a baseball fan, don't worry. We'll make sure we have you guys covered on everything going on with the New York sports teams here, because how awesome would it be to have the Mets and the Yankees in the World Series again, and this time it goes the other way.
Nah, that would not be.
No, that's gonna happen.
No,
it's gonna happen.
That would not be nice, man.
No, it'd be very nice. I'd be very happy.
We not gonna do that.
It'd be great. It's gonna relish in it. It's gonna be an orange and blue town. And I'm not talking about the Knicks.
Oh man!
Number one rank, coach.
Huh?
Yeah.
Number one rank in the poll.
Oh man, I'm not paying no mind. I'm looking at this chick cook some soul food.
Oh man! All right, man. Much love to y'all, man. Same time next week, man. Until then, man. Peace out, man. Enjoy your evening or your early morning.
Peace.